copyrighted program created by Rio Grande.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars, broadcast 280 regarding a man abusing a woman. Assist the officers. That's all. Roll
Why wait until the crime has been committed? Until your motor has been broken down with inferior oil? When you could keep your car on the straight and narrow, making it impossible for it to go wrong by protecting it with Real Lube. I say Real Lube, and so do tens of thousands of motorists. Because this pure 100% paraben-based lubricant covers every vital moving part with a bulletproof vest. So impenetrable that the machine gun fired your highest speed, plus the heat barrage of the hottest weather cannot break it down. It's the way Real Lube is made, friends, that makes it a better motor oil. First of all, it is tempered, refined, and purified in one of the nation's most modern and scientific refineries. Then, before it is sent on its way to the Rio Grande station in your neighborhood, Real Lube is purged of all sludge and carbon-forming elements which are allowed to remain in varying degrees in many of the so-called good motor oils. Have you driven 1,000 miles since the last oil change? Then now is the time to have the crankcase drained and put in Real Lube, or Rio Grande, Pennsylvania. Have it done in the morning, friends, when you get a tank full of Rio Grande cracked gasoline, the gasoline that is first in public service. The facts upon which tonight's story are based have been taken from the files of the sheriff of Los Angeles County. We have therefore asked Major Edmund L. Green to open our program.
One of the most atrocious and at the same time one of the most difficult cases for peace officers to break occurs when some maladjusted man runs amok and commits a series of outrages such as form the basis of our program tonight. It is the opinion of the officers of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department that programs such as Calling All Cars are instrumental in bringing to public attention the efforts of the police in solving cases of this sort. Despite newspaper publicity to the contrary, police officers are unrelenting in their pursuit of this type of criminal. It is unfortunate that at present such crimes cannot always be prevented, but no law enforcement officer ever lets up for a minute in his efforts to capture the criminal and to impress upon him the losing nature of a life of crime. I shall have additional facts for you at the end of the program.
On the night of March 14th, 1935, newsboys in Los Angeles echoed screaming headlines.
Eight-man beats two Los Angeles women.
The Eighth Man. So was titled a cruel and vicious man who had struck twice on the same night, leaving his victims beaten and bloody. In the office of Captain Wallace of the Homicide Squad the following day, Detective Lieutenant Sanderson, Silkus, Keefe, and Brown are in conference.
What do you think we'd better do, Captain Wallace?
Trouble with these cases is lack of motive, except lust. We haven't anything to work on. There isn't much we can do, Sanderson, until you can talk to the two assault victims. We may get word from the emergency hospital any minute to come on out.
Yeah, they were both unable to talk last night. Still groggy from being beat up.
Silkus, you're sure that you and Brown didn't overlook anything on the first case, Mrs. Brady?
Positive. Thad and I weren't the only ones that looked. We had all the neighbors helping us. There were flashlights all over the place, burning into every nook and cranny for blocks around.
That's right. There wasn't a single clue. Whoever the assailant was, he was scared off by Mrs. Brady's calls for help.
Yeah, you see, the neighbors came running out, and the ape man, as the papers called him, ran away.
I have Oliver's report here on fingerprints photographed at Mrs. Evers' house.
Oh, you got them back. Do any good?
Not much, GC. Here's the record here, but we're sending the prints to the FBI. If we never catch this ape man, they're all we need to fix him up, and I don't mean maybe.
Are those the fingerprints that were taken on the table leg?
Yeah, the one he hit her with. She's in worse shape than the first one, Mrs. Brady. This Mrs. Evers has put up quite a battle.
Yeah, you ought to see that house. Blood spattered all over the walls. She was a tough little lady.
I've often wondered what would happen if a woman went accosted as these women were. Instead of putting up a fight, they'd sort of give in for the time being and watch for a good opportunity and sock their assailant to some vital spot.
I've thought the same thing. In fact, I told my wife to do just that if she found herself in a spot like that.
Of course, it's pretty hard not to fight back when somebody rushes you suddenly. And yet, if a woman could keep her wits about her, I've got a hunch she'd win.
Well, anyway, that doesn't solve these two cases. Being still at large, he's liable to strike again without warning. You boys have to find him, that's all there's to it. Maybe this is the hospital. Captain Wallace speaking. Yeah. They are? Good, I'll send the men right over. Okay for you boys to get over and talk to the victims. I think you and Casey will be enough, Sanderson.
Okay, Skipper.
I have to ask you fellas to go easy on these women. They're suffering terribly from shock as well as from the beating they were given. Just don't tire them. Okay, we'll talk to Mrs. Brady first. Sleep, Miss Brady?
No, Doctor.
I have a couple of officers here that want to ask you a few questions. Feel strong enough to answer them?
I'll try. But it's so hard to talk.
I know, but just take it easy. Okay, Lieutenant.
Sorry to have to bother you at a time like this, Mrs. Brady, but we're very anxious to solve your case. Please tell me in your own words just what happened.
Well, I was coming home last evening around 7 o'clock. I was walking down Russell Avenue. I was just about a block from my home when I noticed I was being followed. I tried not to appear nervous or quicken my pace, but it was getting dark, and I was a little bit afraid.
Was it a white man?
Yes.
Do you know where it came from?
No, I don't. He must have stepped out from behind a tree or a bush.
I see.
I guess it was just by sheer willpower that I kept from breaking into a run. I could hear him closing in on me. Suddenly, he made a rush at me. Oh, you're hurting me. Let loose.
Shut up.
Please. Please. Let me go.
Keep quiet.
Let me go. You're hurting my arm. Please.
There. That'll hold you. Yeah, out like a light. Heavy, too. Uh-oh. Somebody's coming. So long, lady. So long.
He knocked me down, and I lay there unconscious. He must have been frightened away by the neighbors my scream had aroused. He sent for the police and an ambulance. Well, you know the rest of the story.
Well, we certainly hope you have a speedy recovery, Mrs. Brady.
Thank you. And I hope you can catch the thief.
Well, we're doing all we can. Now, one other question. Could you give me a description of this slugger?
I have a picture in my mind I'll never forget. He resembled nothing human.
And what is that description, Mrs. Brady?
Well, he was short, slender, and had a face like some animal. He had dark, swarthy skin, and his lips were cruel and snarling like a beast. He had large hands and long arms like an ape. They were awfully strong. They made bruises on my arms.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think your description will help us a lot.
Oh, I hope so. Hanging would be much too good for him.
Much too good, Mrs. Brady.
And thank you so much. Just rest and try to get well.
Thank you.
She's in pretty bad shape, isn't she, Doctor?
Yes. She doesn't don't know it yet, but she's going to lose her eye. The man hit her that hard.
Yeah, I'd like to get my hands on that thing.
Me too. Here's Mrs. Evers' room. She's older and in much worse shape.
We'll be as quick as we can.
Yes, please do. Mrs. Evers,
Yes, Doctor.
do you feel strong enough to answer a few questions? There are 2 officers here from headquarters who wish to ask a few.
I'll try, Doctor.
Could you give us a description of the man, Mrs. Evers?
Yes. He was dark and short and had long arms like a monkey. And his powerful hands that gripped like a steel trap.
And what did his face look like?
It was horrible. Not at first. But when he struck at me, it was like an animal. Sharp white teeth and a cruel mouth that seemed to be snarling. I'll never forget his face as long as I live.
Your description checks with Mrs. Brady's. Now, if you can, will you describe what took place?
I'll try. I was sitting home alone. It was about 8:30 or 8:45 when I heard a knock. That must be Henry. It can't be. Henry has his key. All right, I'm coming. I wonder who it is. Yes?
Is the man of the house here?
Why, no, he's away. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yes, ma'am. If you will, please. I was wondering if you had any work I could do in the yard or the garden. I haven't had anything to eat all day.
Oh, you poor man. Come in. I'll fix you something in a jiffy.
Gee, thanks, lady. I sure appreciate this.
Oh, don't mention it. Just sit down and make yourself comfortable. Maybe you'd like to come out in the kitchen and talk while I work.
Don't make no difference, lady. I'll wait in the front room.
Whatever you wish. I won't be long. I'll brew up some good coffee, and I think I've got some cake in the bread box. You go ahead and get yourself. It'll be ready in just a minute. The coffee's almost done now. I'm sorry I don't have much else to give you besides cake.
It sure smells swell.
You might as well come on out. You can begin on the cake.
You sure must make good coffee if I'm any judge of smells.
Oh, I don't know. I make it just like anybody else does it, yes. Now sit down over there at the table.
I don't know how to thank you, lady.
Don't try to. Here, help yourself to some bread and cake. I found a piece of pie, too.
Oh, good.
I'll just set the coffee pot here on the table and you drink all you want.
You sure are swell to do this for me.
I'll go on in the front room and take your time.
Yeah, you sure will. It ain't very often that a fella runs into a lady like you. When you're as hungry as me, you begin to think everybody's against you.
I'll be glad to make more coffee for you if you want it.
No thanks, lady. That was swell. But,
Yes?
well, if you could spare a dime, lady, for coffee.
Why, of course. My purse is in the bedroom. I'll go get it.
Gee, thanks.
I think I've got a loose quarter here. You're welcome to that. Yes, here it is. Maybe you can... Oh.
Come here.
Oh, no. Don't hit me.
Oh, no. No, you don't. Well, for a gal your age, you're sure pretty tough. But that table leg stopped you. Yeah. Well, it knocks out 2 of her teeth. You're coming through, are you? Well, I'll just take the money out of your purse and feed it. Well, so long, lady, and thanks for everything.
I lay there until I was sure he was gone. And then I dragged myself to the front door and out on the street where I was picked up and brought here.
It was several hours before she could speak. Her throat muscles were paralyzed by the man's strangling hand.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Evers. I'm sure we'll catch this fellow in a few days. And you just rest and try to get back your strength.
Thank you, officer.
She sure must have put up a terrific battle. She's not any too young, either.
She's a mighty game little lady, but no match for this slugger.
Well, we'll catch him all right. The only worry I have is that he may strike again before we can catch him.
The officers made several trips back to the hospital for additional information. They took mug books from headquarters, hoping the injured women might recognize their assailant among the many pictures of known criminals. But they were doomed to disappointment. The fiend was not among them. And then, on the third day...
I'd like to see Captain Wallace. Who's calling? Tell him, Mr. Evers. I'm the husband of one of the women that was beaten by the ape man.
Just a moment. Mr. Evers to see you, Captain. Okay. Go right in, Mr. Evers.
Thank you.
Morning, Mr. Evans. Have a chair.
Thank you, sir.
Now then, what can I do for you?
I'm the husband of Mrs. Evers, one of the women who was beaten by the ape man, if the papers referred to him.
Yes, I assumed as much.
I have some information I thought you might find of some value.
Regarding the assailant?
Yes.
And you know who it was?
I know of a man who might be the one. You see, I keep a diary of everything that happens each day, no matter how trivial.
That's interesting.
Yes. Now, I have here an entry on July 17th of last year that a man came to my home and applied for work as a gardener. I employed him for the day, and while he was there, we engaged in several conversations. He appeared deeply interested in religious matters, and of course I'm about to represent it too.
Yes, go on.
Well, I noticed that he quite frequently digressed from the subject of religion to make some inappropriate allusion to other matters.
Uh-huh.
His mind seemed to dwell on such things. His viewpoint struck me as rather extraordinary. You see, I've made somewhat of a study of human nature.
Do you know if Mrs. Evers was acquainted with this man? Did she see him at any time?
I believe not. What gave me the idea was that my wife's assailant asked for some kind of gardening work, and it all seemed to fit together.
You're positive your wife never saw this man or that he saw her?
Oh, positive. At that time, she was in a sanitarium recovering from an illness. Now I'll come to the point. The description my wife gave me of her attacker is very similar to that of this man Duggar, and I'm quite...
Just a moment, Dr. Evers. Did I hear you say his name?
Of course. I have it right here. T.E. Duggar. I have his address here, too, I believe. Yes, here it is. Here's the exact address. I'll write it down for you on a scrap of paper.
I think we'll get our man, Dr. Evers. Your story seems to fit the slugger to a T. I'll send two of my men out to this address right away. If he still lives there, he'll be in jail within an hour.
A few minutes later, Detective Lieutenant L.E. Sanderson and Detective Lieutenant Ray E. Beatty are at the address Dr. Evers had given Captain Wallace.
Well, this is the place. They just say we want to interview Duggar about a traffic accident he witnessed.
Yeah, no use dodging suspicion.
I hope he's in.
So do I.
Yes? We'd like to see Mr. T.E. Duggar. He witnessed a traffic accident, and we'd like to talk to him about it. Is he in?
No, he's moved.
Oh? Any idea where?
No, but I heard someone say he was living in a rooming house in the Westlake district.
Do you have the address?
No, I don't. Seems to me it's north of Temple Street.
By the way, you don't seem to be terribly pleased with his memory. What do you do for a living?
He never had any steady job. Personally, I'd call him a tramp gardener.
Why?
Well, I knew he kept some garden tools in his room. Sort of a shiftless man.
Aside from that, he was a pretty decent sort of fellow, wasn't he?
Well, to tell you the truth, I was glad to get rid of him. He's always chasing some woman.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. One of my tenants complained that he'd made advances to her in the hallway, so I told him to get out.
Oh, I see. Have you seen him since he left?
He calls her occasionally to ask for mail. If you want to leave your names, I'll give him the message next time I see him.
Thanks.
I expect we'll be able to locate him through other channels. But if he comes back, phone us at Michigan 5211, will you please? And thanks very much for your service.
Quite all right.
Well, that's right. Let's go down and check the registrar of voters. Maybe we can locate this new address.
The list of registered voters showed the name of C.E. Duggar with an address on Lake Shore Avenue in the Westlake district. The trail was getting warmer, but a few minutes later, as the two officers talked to the manager of the apartment house at their address.
I'm sorry, but Duggar moved away from here about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well, the man we're looking for is rather small and very dark complexion.
That's the fella. He got fights with a nurse who lived here, and I kicked him out.
That's Duggar, all right. Any idea where he is now?
Not exactly, but I'm pretty sure he lives out this way somewhere. Still does little gardening for some of the neighbors around here.
Well, I guess we've done all we can here. Thanks for the information.
You're quite welcome.
The two officers made daily trips to the Westlake district, cruising up and down the various streets, looking, always looking. Every short, dark man was carefully scrutinized, and particular attention was paid to all gardeners. But the eighth man had seemingly disappeared. On the night of March 23rd, the officers were staked out in their car, watching and waiting. A ceaseless downpour of rain drenched Los Angeles. Drama was being enacted in another part of the city. Near Echo Park, a woman was sitting at her desk writing letters. Suddenly she stopped, gripped by the terrifying realization that she was not alone. Trembling, she got to her feet and, turning, saw a masked man standing in the doorway.
What do you want?
I want some money. Come here.
Oh, no. No, please.
Oh, so you're going to put
Get away
up a
from
fight.
me.
Well,
Get
good.
away from me. Oh.
Put down that phone.
No, I won't.
Replace this receiver.
Oh, no. I have no money on my ticket. Shut up.
Shut up. Shut up.
Hours later, the woman revived and called the police. Officers Sanderson and Heath answered the call. A thorough search of the house revealed little of interest except that the intruder wore gloves. As soon as the woman was able to talk, the two officers were at her bedside, asking questions.
When you were sent to the emergency hospital, you said you didn't have any idea who your assailant might be. Are you still of the same opinion?
My mind's a little clear now. He wore a mask all the time, but I'm sure I recognize him.
You know the name?
No, was positive. The name he gave me was Rudder. He's a gardener who did some work for me just a few days ago.
Well, what else do you know about him?
He tried to get in my house, but I refused to admit it. When I gave him his lunch, he said it was too hot to eat outdoors. I'd insisted on coming inside.
And did you let him in?
No,
You didn't get any address, did you?
oh, not the exact address, but he said he lived in the 700 block on Bonnie Drive. Oh, you'll find him, won't you?
We'll find him all right, don't worry. We only want you to get well as soon as possible so you can testify against him in court.
You can count on me.
Good. Come on, Ray. Let's have a look at that 700 block on Bonnie Bray.
20 minutes later, the two officers were carefully looking over the apartment houses and rooming houses in the 700 block.
Which one looks the most likely to you?
Lord, I don't know. How about that one over there?
I'm sort of denying that one, too. Let's try it.
Okay. I'll park the car a few doors away.
Yeah, might be keeping a lookout for cops.
This is a good place. We'll park here.
You might put up a fight. Better be ready for some rough stuff.
I'll be ready.
Let's hope he hasn't moved away from here, too.
Here comes somebody.
police headquarters, and we're looking for a man named Duggar or Rugger. Do you have anybody living here by that name?
Why, yes, I do. His name is Thomas Edward Duggar. But he's not in just now.
Oh.
Won't you come in?
Yes, thanks. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
Why, of course. Come right in. Just come in here in the living room. Now then, if you sit down. My name is Mrs. Edward.
Thanks, Mrs. Edward. Mrs. Edward, who lives here with you?
My daughter does. And, of course, Mr. Duggar. Moved in with us, about 2 weeks ago Monday.
That would be the 11th. That's it. Mrs. Brady and Mrs. Edward. Let's see, that was the 14th. Yeah. What's his occupation?
He's a gardener. That is, when he can get work to do.
I see. He doesn't have much money and tries to economize, maybe?
Yes, that's true. He does quite a bit of washing. Seems to be very particular about keeping his clothes clean. We often hear him scrubbing them in the bathroom.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mr. Duggar isn't in any trouble, is he?
Well, I'll tell you, Mrs. Edward, I feel you ought to know about this.
Yes?
We're making a police investigation, and I'd like to have your cooperation.
Oh, why, of course, I'll be glad to help you all I can.
And your daughter, too.
Yes. Now, tell me, Mrs. Edward, what did Mr. Duggar do last Saturday? We want to know where he was and what time he left the house and all about him.
Well, now, let me see. Came home early in the afternoon, as he usually does. Left again about 7 o'clock. He was out quite late. I know because his key wouldn't unlock the door, and I had to get up and let him in. Oh, it was after 3 in the morning.
Go on.
Well, he got up early Sunday morning. It couldn't have been later than 7 o'clock. My daughter and I heard him go into the bathroom. It sounded as though he was washing clothes. We remarked about it at the time. Short time later, he left. Then he came back about 9. And this time, we were sure we heard him washing.
He's certainly clean for a gardener.
Yeah, almost too clean.
Well, he went out again about 10. We didn't see him until evening. He's been working in the daytime for the last 2 days and staying home nights. Well, I believe that's about all there is to tell.
Now, tell me, has he always acted perfectly proper around the house here?
Well, there is something else. Perhaps I should tell you.
What is that, Mrs. Edwards?
Well, about Mr. Duggar the other night. My daughter and Mr. Duggar and myself were all sitting in here reading, and suddenly Mr. Duggar jumped up and rushed over to me and threw his arms around my neck.
And what did he say?
He said, "Oh, won't you please be a mother to me?" I remember his very words. My daughter and I both tried to laugh it off, but we were really worried about it. We were sorry we'd ever rented the room to him.
Naturally. But that checks exactly with the information we have concerning him.
And when do you expect him to...
That's him coming in now.
Come on, Gizzy, we'll grab him before he knows what's up.
Come on, Mother.
Just a minute.
Hey, what's that?
I got it.
Now, then. Your name Duggar?
Yeah, that's my name. But I ain't done nothing.
Would you mind leaving the room, Mrs. Edward? We'd like to ask this man a few questions.
Oh, I certainly, officer. I'll be back in the kitchen.
Now, Mr. Duggar, suppose you explain your actions last Saturday night.
Saturday night? Well, it was raining. About 7 o'clock, I went over to a cafe on Sunset Boulevard and had something to eat. After that, I went to a picture show. I got out about 9:30 and went straight home. I was in bed before 10.
You're lying.
Lying about what?
You didn't get home until after 3. Mrs. Edward had to let you in because your key wouldn't unlock the door.
That was you who beat up those women and we not.
Oh, what women? I never beat anybody. I don't know what you're talking about.
And what about Mrs. Edwards having to let you in after 3 o'clock?
Well, I must...
Wait a minute. Well, here comes the female.
Yeah. You know whose that is, Ray?
No, who?
Mrs. Edwards.
That's right. She died last Thursday, didn't she?
Who's Mrs. Evers?
I'll tell you. On March 14th, a man went to Mrs. Evers' home and asked for some food.
No,
Oh, I didn't mean to hurt her.
Can't you let that man in?
No, I couldn't help myself. I can't help it.
And that man repaid her kindness by beating her almost to death.
Please stop, mister. I can't help it. I can't. That's how I am.
And that man was you, Sugar. You're right. That's how you are. And you'll hang for it.
In just a moment, we shall hear the concluding facts regarding our program. If your car is below par, everything seems to go wrong. Make the week ahead run smoothly by ensuring the maximum efficiency of your car with the sure-fire protection of Realube motor oil and the money-saving power of police car performance Rio Grande Cracked, the most highly recommended gasoline sold in the West. And now, Major Green.
Duggar's trial developed nothing new regarding his crimes. He was speedily convicted and was later hanged at San Quentin. His criminal career extended back over several years. But like all criminals, he found that crime cannot pay.
Thank you, Major Green.
Police calling all cars, attention all cars, the cancellation of broadcast 280 regarding a slugging suspect. This man apprehended and hanged. That's all. Those who
Frederick Lindsay, bidding you good night for Rio Grande.
Next week at this time, Rio Grande will present
the American West. Once it could have been the British, Spanish, or even the Russian West. It became American primarily because of the explorations of two young Army officers, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark. Their pioneering journey stands as one of the great achievements in the history of the United States.
York, come out of there. You'll have those Indians swarming all over the boat looking for you.
Captain Lewis, sir? Tell him I'm out hunting buffalo with Mr. George Juilliard. Tell him my master, Captain Clark, took me to the village to meet the big chief Black Cat.
Captain Clark is coming this way right now, and you met Black Cat yesterday.
But, sir, I don't want to go out there.
We're spending the winter with the Mandans, and you may as well get used to them. You ought to be glad they like you.
The winter, sir? I won't be able to stand it that long. All that flexing of muscle and lifting heavy men over my head to show how strong I am.
I want you, York.
Sir, I'm plumb tired out. Besides, I'm your servant, not theirs.
Go on. You know you love all that attention. Get out there and make them happy.
That's an order, sir?
It is.
All right, sir. But this time I'm only lifting little squaws.
He hasn't had this much fun in his whole life.
At least not since we left the Arikara village.
Speaking of the Arikaras, where's Chief Kakawita?
Talking with Newman, I guess. He feels sorry for Newman. He told me Arikaras would never whip a man and take away his warrior status for the minor offense of talking back to a superior. I tried to explain that Newman had also denounced the expedition, the army, the entire nation. But Kakawita couldn't see how that increased the offense. He simply doesn't have the same conception of nationality that we do. How'd it go with Black Cat?
Oh, he'll hold a council for Kakawita.
We may arrange peace between the Mandans and the Rickaras yet.
I hope so.
The only thing really bothers me, that agent of the British Northwest Trading Company, McCracken. He knows we know he's in the village, but he keeps on avoiding a meeting.
The land is ours. Sooner or later, he'll have to come to us.
Horizons West, the continued story of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Now, with Harry Bartell as Meriwether Lewis and John Anderson as William Clark, listen to Chapter 3, Dakota Winter. October 1804. The news that Lewis and Clark had outfaced and overawed the Teton Sioux preceded the expedition up the Missouri River, turning the belligerent Arikaras into genial hosts, and now the Mandans, who lived in the Dakota country, into stout advocates. Only the presence of the Britisher, Hugh McCracken, caused the two captains worry. Here was a man who might upset their plans, depending upon the extent of his dislike.
In the cleared area before the rows of rounded earthen huts, a fire was crackling and the chiefs and warriors of the Mandans had assembled. Kakawita, our Arikara friend, was in the center along with Billy Clark. As I took my seat beside Black Cat, chief of the Mandans, I saw Hugh McCracken standing beside one of the lodges.
My people, listen. Men of courage and goodwill are among us. The white chieftains, Lewis and Clark, and their warriors of the United States. They will winter here. They will teach us their ways of peace through strength. They will bring us their traders to buy our furs and supply our needs. Now, hear the words of Captain Lewis.
We come among you with greetings from Thomas Jefferson, Big Chief of the 17 states of America. We bring you protection and prosperity, only as long as they are fair and honorable will the traders of France, of England, of Spain, of Canada be permitted to deal with you. For this, we ask only friendship and that you live in peace with the other tribes. We have talked to the Arikaras, and they want peace. With us is their chief, Kakawita, who wishes to speak to his Mandan brothers.
Let him be heard.
My brothers, I have made much talk with my people and great white chiefs. Wise men have made us see reasons why there has been trouble between Mandan and Arikara. Each time we have made war, it has been because of evil counsel of Teton Sioux, who grow strong while we bleed each other. Let us resist Sioux deceit. Let us have peace. Let us smoke together.
Those are fair words, Arikara. But what if this alliance is made and the Teton Sioux frown upon it? Will you do as you have done before and kill us because you fear the Sioux?
No! No! At last, our eyes are open. We will not fear the Sioux when we can come to you in friendship.
Hear me, people of the Mandans. Accept the word of your brother. We, captains of the United States, will guarantee this peace. If the Sioux attack, we will punish them.
My people, the great white captains have spoken. Pass the pipe. We will smoke.
During the next few days, we surveyed the area near the river above and below the Mandan villages for a suitable site for our winter quarters. and Billy Clark and I decided on a location which was heavily forested with cottonwoods.
Looks good to me, Meriwether. Plenty of trees for building. No cartage problem.
Remember how we built when we were serving under General Anthony Wayne?
Every building was a fort and could be defended.
And that's what we want here. Strong houses, a tall wall of pickets, sentry ramps, gun ports, visibility on all sides. We'll need 5 or 6 good-sized Hey, what's the matter with York?
Captain Clark. Captain Clark.
What is it, York? What is it?
Chief Blackcat says to tell you right away. The Englishman McCracken is leaving. He goes someplace on the Assiniboine River.
Back to Northwest Trading Company headquarters.
York, has McCracken actually left?
Not yet, sir. He's still packing.
I'm writing a letter to his superiors. I want you to put it into McCracken's hands before he leaves.
Yes, sir.
A letter, Meriwether?
A brief statement of intent. We bought this land from the French. We will defend it. November temperatures in this North Country were quite cold, down around the 0 mark, oftener than we liked. According to the Mandans, this was mild weather. It would get much, much colder. As cold as 40 to 50 degrees below 0. Despite this, morale among the men was high. They worked long, hard hours in a race against the weather, building a stout Fort Mandan, while Sergeant Gass and 10 others worked equally hard on the dugout canoes.
It is fine morning, Captain Lewis.
Dakota Winter, how are you?
I have been watching Sergeant Gass and his men. Making a big log into a boat is hard task. It asks much of the worker. He must be skilled, patient. He must always see a canoe before him, not a log.
Sergeant Gass has all those qualities.
So does your prisoner Newman, the disgraced warrior who will be sent downriver next spring when the ice has melted. He, too, has the fine qualities of the sergeant.
Newman was given a fair trial and found guilty by a court made up of his fellows. You want me to nullify that?
No, Captain. Merely observe him from time to time.
Cold November gave way to colder December. But this did not stop the Mandan young men, dressed only in breech clouds, from racing about on the ice, playing a brutal game called lacrosse. Meriwether went out on the ice with the lacrosse players, not for love of sport, but to learn enough to write about it in his carefully detailed cultural study of the Indians. He gathered much linguistic information about their speech, made up dictionaries to go with his summaries of various Aboriginal religions, customs, laws, and social behavior. We had accepted Robert Frazier of the temporary escort as a permanent member of the Corps to fill the vacancy created by the death of Charles Floyd. And we enlisted a young trader who stopped en route to St. Louis, Baptiste Lepage, to replace the disgraced John Newman. We still lacked a man to replace Moses Reed, the convicted deserter, when a heavy-set Frenchman of about 40 came to the stockade with his 2 wives and asked to speak to the commander.
What a thing I've seen, sir. Do you know one of your men is risking his life playing lacrosse with those savages?
Well, that's Captain Lewis, my co-commander. I'm Captain Clark. What can I do for you?
I am Charbonneau, Captain Clark. Toussaint Charbonneau. I have many, many years of experience in the wilderness, and I understand the geography of the Mississippi and the Missouri, and on the west to the divide.
Touched
I am an
with a
excellent
French
hunter.
inflection, the words poured out a statement of his qualifications for a job. I watched him and looked at the 2 shy Indian women who had entered a few steps behind him. They were obviously his wives, one tired, middle-aged, the other young and pretty. The young one was in the early months of pregnancy.
Louisiana, the Americans, where my great experience and many skills can be properly used.
Hello, Billy.
Captain Lewis, this is Toussaint Charbonneau, trader, hunter, guide, interpreter. The ladies are his wives.
Delighted, Captain.
Mr. Charbonneau wants a job.
You told him we have all the people we need, didn't you?
Well, I was about to.
I'm sorry, but I heard you had no one who could speak Shoshone.
Who said we needed anyone for that?
Oh, there are the persistent rumors which we hear from St. Louis.
Mr. Charbonneau, you imply that you speak the Shoshone tongue.
Oh, no, sir. No white man has ever visited the Shoshone, let alone try to learn their language. However, I can offer the next best thing in the person of my youngest wife, Sacagawea. She will accompany me. She speaks Shoshone because she is a Shoshone. I won her in a game of chance from the Gros Ventre some months ago. She also speaks English.
Won her in a game?
5 years ago, a Gros Ventre raiding party took her from her own people.
She's pregnant. She can't go on a long trek.
Oh, by the time the river ice melts next spring, she will have borne me a son.
A baby can't stand a long trip either.
Oh, this baby can, Captain, huh? He will be French and Indian, and the son of Toussaint Charbonneau.
You'll work your heart out if you go with us.
I'm not afraid of hard work. And did I mention, huh? I'm an excellent cook.
All right, Charbonneau, we'll try it. $25 per month, and keep.
Also keep for Sacagawea, huh?
Yes. Keep for Sacagawea.
Both Charbonneau and Sacagawea helped us put the expedition equipment inside the new stockade. Our friends the Mandans brought us gifts of food, choice meat, vegetables, and pemmican, an Indian dried meat food that was delicious. We stored all perishables outside the buildings where the below-freezing temperatures kept meats fresh and a wooden lattice kept away marauding creatures. Hunting parties went out to augment the supply, and one was attacked by a Sioux raiding party. Kakawita, the Arikara chief, was one of the hunters.
Captain Lewis, there were only 3 of us. Bratton, Newman, me. Newman came only to load the pack animals and do squaw work. But his courage saved us.
His courage saved you? What do you mean by that?
The Sioux, nearly 100 of them, had taken our meat and 2 of our horses and had forced Bratton to give them his knife. Newman threatened them and made them return the knife. Then they left.
Thank you for telling me, Kakawita.
Tomorrow, I go back to my village with 3 chieftains from the Mandans to smoke the pipe of peace with my people. Sometimes men learn from their errors.
Kakawita and the Mandan ambassadors left for the Arikara settlements to the south of us, and Charbonneau and his wife Sacagawea moved into the fort. The second wife, Otter Woman, did not come along. Plainly, Charbonneau had sent her back to her people. After a few days of shy silence, Sacagawea began to answer questions from me and from Billy Clark, as long as her husband was present.
Sacagawea, is it many moons from here to your people? Can you go there on the river in boats?
It is many moons. Then comes the big falling of water over the steep bluffs, making much noise and a mist like rain.
Yes, go on, Sacagawea. The big fall of water, there must be a portage for boats around it.
Come in.
Black Cat.
Come in, Black Cat.
Health be with you, my friend.
Health be with you. What has brought you to Fort Mandan?
I am deeply troubled. English traders of the Northwest Company are in my village. There is bad talk from one of them called La France.
They threaten you?
La France says the Americans lie to us. All American trade will be controlled by the Sioux.
Do you believe that, Black Cat?
No, but others may. Our neighbors, the Minatari, are already disturbed.
Where'll we find this La France? How many men does he bring?
They are 7. La France is aide to the leader, Antoine Larocque. In their trade goods, they bring British flags and medals. Even now, this Larocque is on his way here to speak to you.
Larocque coming here?
It is true.
You will excuse me, gentlemen.
No, we won't, Charbonneau. Stay where you are.
Now tell us why you're afraid of this Larocque.
Oh, it is not fear exactly, huh? It is only that in past seasons I've worked for him, and he will be angry when he finds I have taken employment from you.
You have a right to work for you, please.
My friends, I must not seem to take sides in this. Not at present.
You wish to go?
Yes.
Then go. You are a good friend.
Thank you. Good day, my friend.
We permitted Sacagawea to leave the room. Indeed, Charbonneau suggested it. And then the three of us sat back to wait for Larocque.
Charbonneau, what sort of man is this Larocque?
Young, adventurous, greedy for quick profit. In many ways, he is the typical French-Canadian who has joined with the English in the hope that he has chosen the winning side. He fancies himself clever and urban, which he really is not.
Captain Clark, or is it Captain Lewis?
Both of us are here. Come in, Larocque.
You expected me. You know my name. Ah, now I understand. It was you, Charbonneau, who heard I was here and informed our American friends.
Oh, no, Larocque, no. But I wish you to meet my employers, huh? Captain Meriwether Lewis, Captain William Clark.
I am honored.
Sit down, Mr. Larocque, and tell us what's on your mind.
Does one have to have something on his mind to seek out the company of other white men in a land of benighted savages?
You have come with 7 men from your base on the Assiniboine. You have allowed your man LaFrance to spread falsehoods against us among the people you call benighted savages.
Captain, that is a most unfriendly statement.
We'll expect you to put a muzzle on this, LaFrance, and since Louisiana is now a part of the United States, there will be no distribution of George III medallions and Union Jacks to the Indians.
As you wish. I will give out beads and vermilion, which are more popular anyway. I am here not as a newcomer, but as a man who has for years conducted trade with the Mandans and the Minatarees. For several years I have used the same interpreter, but now I learn that you have hired him.
Well, we might loan him to you from time to time.
Ah, that would be most kind.
If Mr. Charbonneau is willing, of course.
Oh, I'm willing, if I receive additional pay from Monsieur Larocque.
Oh, very well, Charbonneau. I plan a brief trip to the Minotauree villages on the Knife River. You will meet me day after tomorrow in the Upper Mandan village, provided, of course, you can be spared for a month.
That is agreeable, Captain Clark.
We'll be right here when you get back.
Thank you. Day after tomorrow, Larocque, huh? Now, if you gentlemen will excuse me.
Of course.
Charbonneau is good with the Minatarees because he understands them.
As long as his personal life doesn't interfere with his efficiency.
Exactly.
May I offer you a dram of whiskey?
Ah, yes, thank you. I couldn't help but notice your fine equipment. And you have admirably disciplined troops. Stalwart, strong, capable of anything.
There you are, Larocque. Very well, thank you.
To your long journey.
Our long journey?
You are exploring to the west.
Seems we can't hide it any longer.
I am an experienced man in the wilderness. Why don't you take me along?
Are you serious?
I am.
If you want to go west, you'll have to organize your own expedition.
Perhaps I will. By the way, I have been reliably informed that Britain has a right of access to the Mississippi and Missouri river system.
You've been grossly misinformed. Both river systems are entirely within the territorial limits of the United States.
Isn't that a matter for the surveyors and the cartographers to determine?
Captain Clark is a surveyor and a cartographer. For your information, Larocque, Louisiana extends to the northern tributary of the Assiniboine, the Qu'Appelle River.
That's as far north as Lake Winnipeg. I find that impossible to accept.
But it's a fact, Larocque. You'll be glad to know that our president, Thomas Jefferson, has decided on a policy of free trade in Louisiana for the present. That means the English may continue to trade with the Indians as long as they treat them fairly.
I refuse to accept you as either a political or economic judge. However, I also refuse to quarrel. I thank you for the use of Charbonneau. I will see that our friend keeps a rein on his tongue. Good day, gentlemen.
Charbonneau went with Larocque and his traders, and during the month that he was gone, weather took hold of the fort. Even my big active dog Scannon preferred to stay indoors. On Christmas Day, celebrated with extra rations and a salute from the swivel gun, it was so cold that the river ice groaned, cottonwood boughs boomed like musketry, and the guard had to be changed every hour to keep the men on duty from freezing to death. And then one windless, icy day in early January, Charbonneau returned. Unsmiling, nervous, he approached Billy and me in our workroom.
Gentlemen, may I speak to you both? Of course.
You look worried.
My friend, Larocque, says he asked to join the expedition, and you refused. He's a good man. Would be of great value.
To the British or us?
To us, of course.
We can't take the chance of hiring a man so dedicated to British objectives.
I see. There is another subject, huh? When I agreed to go, there were things we did not discuss.
And now you want to speak up.
You are getting two people instead of one.
We hired you, not your wife. We agreed to take her along when you asked.
Yes, but she will render valuable service. Remember, she speaks Shoshone.
You want more money?
Yes. And I will not do heavy lifting or pull or pull both. Huh? I am not a common laborer.
We all pull and carry heavy weights when necessary.
I am a specialist, and I must have $50 for the two of us.
Billy, you haven't said anything.
I've been too amazed.
Do you agree we can struggle along without him?
I think so.
Charbonneau, you're fired. You have until noon to get your gear out of the fort.
But what will you do when you reach Shoshone country?
Use sign language. Now get out of here. You actually believe he's so important he can dictate to us?
Either that or Larocque paid him to do it.
That could be an act of harassment, something to make our progress just a little bit more difficult.
Who is it?
Charbonneau.
Come in.
I am back.
So we see.
I wish to say that, I spoke hastily, heedlessly. Oh, I cannot take my wife out into this cold. I wish to remain.
Very well. But if pulling or towing or heavy lifting is called for, you will do your share.
Yes, more than my share.
We're taking you back because of your wife.
Because of Sacagawea?
We don't want her out in the cold.
January gave way to February, and the fort became almost a factory of preparations for spring. In contrast to Moses Reed, the sullen-acting convicted deserter, John Newman, discharged for insubordination, worked as eagerly and as hard as any of the men assured of a place in the upriver contingent.
Meriwether, I think Newman's trying to make up for his mistake.
I know, he has for months.
Or should we give him a second chance?
I don't know, Billy.
Neither do I.
Billy Clark took over direct supervision of the extra boatmen and soldiers, 14 of them, who would take the keel boat and its valuable cargo downriver to St. Louis. Aboard would be all the information we'd collected to date from Mr. Jefferson, as well as specimens of flora and fauna, and the two specimens of disobedience, Reed and Newman.
In February, a troubled Charbonneau brought Sacagawea to us. She was undergoing labor pains. Although Meriwether and I had considerable practical experience in medicine, this would be our first attempt at obstetrics. Sacagawea was long hours in labor, and we began to worry about losing her, until George Drouillard recalled an old Indian method of bringing on the birth. In the village, we secured rattles from the tail of a diamondback, pulverized them into a powder. With some skepticism, I mixed the powder in water and gave it to Sacagawea to drink. And within 10 minutes, she delivered the child.
Here, look at him, Sacagawea.
Him, Sacagawea. Boy!
Sacagawea named the boy Baptiste. Billy, immediately fond of the bright-eyed little fellow, nicknamed him Pompey because he was such a soldier about getting born. And then winter began to soften into spring. The ice broke up. Noisy formations of birds began to fly north. On a gray day in March, we gathered on the bank of the river for the departure of the keel boat. A number of the Mandans came to watch. Also LaRoque, who took in everything with the greatest of interest. Then John Newman leaped out of the boat and came to us.
Captain Lewis, Captain Clark, I'm sorry. I tried to show you how I felt.
We know, Newman.
I want to go on with you. Please, sir?
We're going into the unknown. We can't be sure of what we'll have to face. A man who cracked under strain once could do so again. I'm sorry, we can't take it.
But, Captain...
You heard the order. Now back in the boat.
Yes, sir.
That was a hard decision to make, Merriweather.
There's so much at stake I had to turn him down.
Well, you were right.
In another week, we had loaded our boats and were poised on the riverbank for our start. Black Cat and several Mandans came to bid us goodbye.
You will return?
Yes, Black Cat. A year, perhaps less.
My people are sad.
That means we are friends.
Good fortune go with you.
Thank you.
All set, Merriweather.
Men, we are about to penetrate unexplored country of at least 2,000 miles in width. Let's get on with it.
You have been listening to Horizons West, the continued story of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Chapter 3, Dakota Winter, starred Harry Bartell as Meriwether Lewis and John Anderson as William Clark. Featured in the cast were Sebastian Cabot, Helen Gerald, Bill Keane, Cliff Holland, Howard Culver, and John Cedar. Our story was written by Carl A. and William Tunberg and directed by William Lally. Sound patterns by Gene Twombly. Michael Rye speaking. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Calling all cars, a copyrighted program created by Rio Grande.
Riverside Sheriff's Office calling all cars. Attention all cars. Broadcast 287 regarding a bloodstained car at the Indio substation. Assist the officers. That's all. Rosenquist.
Have you tried our new gasoline? This new all-purpose Rio Grande crack embodies twice as many vital ingredients as found in ordinary fuel. And all are expertly combined in just the right ratio to give you the gasoline of all purpose. Police car drivers and the pilots of other public-serving automobiles throughout California were the proving ground for this sensationally new motor fuel. And their unstinted acclaim convinced us all-purpose Rio Grande crack should be made available to the general motoring public. They found its scientific blend of additional ingredients made up a gasoline that has everything. each element contributing its part to the 100% performance of which each car is capable. Maximum motor car efficiency at minimum cost is yours. The emergency benefits of all-purpose Rio Grande cracks are no farther away than the nearest red and white Rio Grande station. So get a tankful in the morning and watch your car take you places more swiftly, more smoothly, yes, and more economically than ever before. The story we are to hear tonight has been taken in the main from facts to be found in the confidential files of the Sheriff of Riverside County. We have therefore asked Under Sheriff Steve Lynch to open our program.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure for me to avail myself of an opportunity to stress the importance of public recognition of the work of the peace officers. The job of policing any jurisdiction is one that rightfully belongs to the general public. The fact that this duty is delegated to certain officers does not lessen the public's responsibility to cooperate with those officers in enforcing the law. In Riverside County, we are proud of the cooperation not only of private individuals, but of the various law enforcement bodies. The cooperation of local police departments with the sheriff's office and of all other branches of law enforcement makes it an easy task in our county to point out the truthfulness of the statement, crime in any form is a losing proposition. Additional facts on tonight's case will be heard at the end of the program.
In the sheriff's substation in Indio, Deputy Sheriff Ben de Cavalcade receives a visitor.
Hello, Patterson. Come in.
Morning, Ben. How's the sheriff's office?
Oh, getting along. What's on your mind this morning?
Remember old man Martin?
Old Wendy?
Yeah, he's the one.
Sure, I remember him. Haven't seen him for quite a while, though. Must be about a month.
Well, that's right. I was out looking for him yesterday, but couldn't find him.
What do you want with him?
Well, he bought a car from me, that old Chevy of mine. He hasn't made the payment that was due on the 1st.
And this is the 24th of September.
That's right. I want my money or I want the car back.
What can I do about it? We can't run around looking for somebody just because he hasn't shown up lately.
Well, maybe not, but I want my car back. It's out there on the Kirsteiner Ranch. I found that much out, and I want it.
Want me to go out with you?
Yep.
Okay, we'll drive out and see what the car is doing there.
There she is, all right.
That car's been here a long time.
How do you know?
Yes, sir. I'd say this car's been here since the latter part of August.
Well, I say, how do you know?
Remember that dust storm we had around the end of August?
Sure, blew all night.
Uh-huh. Well, take a look at the running board and the wheels on the east side.
Say, that's the direction the wind came from, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the dirt's piled high on that side, all right.
The tires are almost covered, and the crevices along the running board are full.
Yeah, it looks clean on the other side, though.
Yeah, and I'd say it's been cleaned. And it was cleaned after the storm.
I believe you're right.
See here, along the running board. There's been water or something liquid poured along here.
Yeah, there's a clean place on the floor here, too.
Yeah, that's been washed with soap. See the streaks along there?
Let's see what's on the inside.
Uh-huh. The inside of this car has been cleaned, too. At least the front part has.
Well, here's a lot of bedding and some groceries back here.
Any idea where the groceries came from?
Well, here's a sales ticket from the Indio Grocery. It's dated August 29th.
Good. Let me have it. I'll check on it later.
Say, what are you taking up the floor mat for?
I want to see what's under here.
Find anything?
Unless I'm mistaken, this is blood under here.
Hey, it looks like the floor had been washed, too.
No, that watermark was made by the water running under the mat. Whoever cleaned up this car must have forgotten about that.
Say, you know something? Maybe Wendy's done something and skipped out.
Been thinking about that.
He was kind of sweet on a girl down there at Coachella. You know, her old man told him he'd blow his head off if he didn't stay away from the girl.
Nah, Wendy was too old for that sort of thing.
Oh, that's what you think. You don't know Wendy like I do.
Well, nobody from Coachella's been reported missing.
And Wendy has. So maybe we're jumping at conclusions.
You're doing the jumping. I'm just not overlooking any bets. Maybe Wendy has done away with somebody and has run off.
On the other hand, that may not be blood.
That's right, too. And still further, it may not be human blood if it is.
Well, how are we going to find out?
Here, I'll scrape a little of it off and take it into Dr. Gray in Indio and have him make tests on it.
Well, can he tell if it's human blood?
Sure, it's a cinch. Dr. Gray?
Yes?
Here's some samples of scrapings I got from a car that I suspect has been mixed up in some sort of trouble. I wish you'd tell me whether they contain blood or not.
All right, Ben. Come into my laboratory here, and we'll make a test of it.
Hey, can I watch?
Certainly. Come on in.
Here's the stuff I scraped off the floorboards of the car.
Just put it in that little glass dish there on the table.
Can you tell me if it's human or animal blood?
Yes, but that'll take a little longer.
Well, we got plenty of time.
Say, what's that stuff?
This is known as the benzidine test. It shows whether the stain is blood or something else. Well, Ben, I'm afraid you've got some blood here.
Yeah? How can you tell?
Now, watch while I drop some of this benzidine solution on a little piece of this dirt you brought in. See how it turns green?
It does, it's that.
Well, I'll be doggone. Simple, isn't it?
Yeah, simple as falling off a log.
Now let's see if it's human blood.
Oh, well, that's a little more complicated. Hand me that bottle on the end of the shelf there.
This one?
Yes, that's the one.
What, it says on the label, rabbit serum. What do? Shoot the little rabbits full of this stuff?
No, we get it from the rabbits after they've been inoculated with human blood.
How's that going to work, Doc?
We pour a little into this test tube like this.
Yeah?
Then we add a solution of this stuff you brought in. Shake it a little. Now, if it's human blood and that sample, we should get a cloudy reaction.
By George, it's getting muddy, all right.
I believe it is, at that.
Well, I'll be doggone.
I believe you said that before.
Yes, so it is.
Well, Ben, I believe this is human blood, all right.
Let me talk to Sheriff Rayburn.
Just a moment. Sheriff Rayburn speaking.
Sheriff, this is Ben Crevicoeur down at Indio.
How are you, Ben?
Okay, but I think we got a murder on our hands down here.
That's so? Who is it?
Old man Martin, Wendy Martin.
Who killed him?
Well, we don't know yet. We're not even sure that it's Martin who's dead. He may have killed somebody himself. I'm going out now and see if I can locate him.
Let me know what you find.
I will. Oh, Sheriff, maybe you'd better send a couple of the boys down to help look for Wendy.
All right, Ben. I'll send Lloyd Bowler and Lester Graham down to look things over.
Okay, Sheriff. I'm going out now with Chief Sanford and see if we can find Wendy.
Right.
I'll take a look at the stuff in Wendy's shack, too, and let you know what I find.
Okay, Ben. Go ahead.
Well, Sanford, what do you think?
Personally, I believe somebody killed old man Martin for his money.
I never was sure he had any.
Neither was I.
I checked on that letter we found in Martin's shack.
Oh, the one to Judge Fredericks in Banning?
That's the one.
What did the judge say?
Well, he'd written Wendy about a traffic case that Wendy was involved in. He'd been fined for drunk driving, but wasn't able to pay the fine, so the judge let him pay it in installments. Well, when Wendy didn't show up on the first of the month like he promised, the judge sent him a letter. It had a self-addressed envelope in it. That's the one we found.
Oh, well, and evidently Wendy's talk about having money was a pipe dream, huh?
That's what I figured, but some of these fellows around here might have believed his story.
And killed him for the money, huh?
That's the basis I'm going on. I think we'll find his body in some of these fallow fields around here.
Yeah, might as well start looking here.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Let's take a look in this old well.
There's a body in there. You can have the job of getting it out. I don't want any part of it.
Nope. Nothing down there.
Handy things, hand mirrors. You can throw the sunlight clear to the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I guess we might as well try the next well. I'm beginning to get awfully tired of looking down the old well.
Yeah, you and me both.
Won't be long before the sun's too low to use this mirror. Well, I'll try this one and call it a day.
It's pretty deep.
Yep. I'd say at least 60 feet.
See anything?
Not yet. Wait a minute. There is something down there.
Yeah, I see it, too. Looks like a shoe.
It is a shoe. It's one of Wendy Martin's shoes.
How do you know?
Take a good look. If I can hold this mirror still. There. See how high that shoe is?
Uh-huh.
Wendy had weak ankles. Always wore extra high shoes. That's Wendy Martin's body, all right.
Well, what do we do now?
Go back to Indio and get a well digger to bring his rig out here and hoist the body out.
Hey, wait a minute. You see this?
Blood stains on the well turbine.
It looks like a touch of murder.
Looks that way. Boy, is it going to be a job finding out who killed old man Martin. I never had any idea 60-foot well could seem so deep.
Well, won't be long now.
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing. Cranking a windlass. Job I'm not very fond of.
Well, here it comes. You won't have to crank.
Old man Martin, all right. He's got our corpus delicti.
And so, almost a month after he had disappeared, John Windy Martin came back again to silently confirm the suspicion that he had been murdered. Later that day, in the sheriff's substation at Indio, the long arm of coincidence again reached into the tangled web of the case. Deputy de Crevecoeur is booking a prisoner.
Now, let's see. Your name's Smith, and you live at Chicella, do you?
Yeah.
Now, what'd I do with that blotter?
Ouch! That looks like a black widow spider, mister.
It is. Hit me right on the wrist, too. Square on the artery.
You better call a doctor.
Yes?
Give me the hospital.
Go ahead. City Hospital.
Dr. Gray, please.
My mother.
Hello, Doc.
Yes?
This is Ben.
Oh, yes, Ben.
I just got bit by a black widow spider. I'll get it in a bottle and bring it over, and you can fix me up.
Oh, stop it and get over here.
All right. Be right over.
Less than 20 minutes later, the delirious deputy was fast losing consciousness. Deputy Sheriffs Bowler and Graham, sent down by Sheriff Rayburn, stood beside his bed in the hospital.
Well, Fuller, this is a fine thing. Here we've got a murder on our hands, and Ben has to get chewed up by a spider so he can't tell us what he knows.
That would have to happen to us.
Well, it's just a chance, Graham, that Ben can carry on a pretty lucid conversation. Sometimes these poisons affect men that way.
Or so truth serum, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Worth trying, Les.
Sure. Ben? Ben, can you hear me?
Can hear you. How are you, Les?
He knows you. I don't think so. He's quite oblivious to his surroundings. Ben, we want to know about the Martin case. What did you intend to do next?
Talk to people on ranch. Where we found car. They're going to move. Juanita told me.
Who's Juanita, Ben?
A good little amateur detective. Talk to Juanita. She'll help you.
I remember seeing her address in his book down at the office. Okay, Ben, we'll talk to Juanita. What else?
Look for boy. Martin used to go to dances with. May know who killed Martin.
What's his name?
Alberto Rodriguez. Look for Alfredo Ruiz, too.
Here and round Rodriguez.
Think they killed Martin, Ben?
May have. Ask Juanita.
Anybody else you think we ought to talk to?
Yeah, talk to Italian John. You may know something. Talk to a fellow named CALV. He moved Martin's stuff to just on the ranch.
Bet he's telling us more than if he was conscious.
Well, that's possible. He's telling you the things he had planned to do and the things he has heard. You'll be safe from following up on them.
Maybe that's a good tip. Might as well try it.
I guess so. This is beginning to get uncanny talking to Ben. Let's get to work.
Buenos dias, senora. Habla inglés?
Sí, señor. A little.
We'd like to talk to your husband. Is he home?
Sí, señor. He's inside the house. Venga.
Gracias.
No hay de qué.
Yeah, I'm beginning to get awfully tired of these Espanol cases.
Well, that's what you get for being my partner.
If I'd known you spoke this lingo, I wouldn't have worked with you.
You want to see me, senor?
Oh, yes. Your name Rodriguez?
That is my name.
You got a son named Alberto?
Si, senor.
Where is he?
Quien sabe?
When did you see him last?
3, maybe 4 weeks ago now.
Where'd you been when you saw him last?
I don't know.
What time of day was it when he left?
Oh, I cannot tell. I don't have no clock.
Did he come back here before he left the last time?
Si. He came back in afternoon about 6 o'clock.
By the way, what time is it now?
Oh, no, it's exactly 3 o'clock.
It's a nice watch. May I look at it?
Si, senor. Here it is.
You had this long?
Oh, not so long.
Have it before your son left?
No. He gave it to me.
Your wife know where Alberto is?
I don't think so. Maria! You know where is Alberto now?
No.
You don't know?
You know Alfredo Ruiz?
Oh, him, sure. He's my wife's brother.
You know where he is?
No.
Your wife know?
Maria! You know where is Alfredo?
No.
You don't know that also?
So I gather. Let's take a look around outside.
That is all right.
Hey, you ought to oil that door.
No, it's too much trouble. We move from here very soon now.
Hey, how long did that old car of John Martin sit out here in front of your place?
Oh, long time. 3, maybe 4 weeks.
Who left it there?
Alberto, he leave it there. He says, Senor Martin, tell him he go away. Alberto bring the car home. Then he go away.
Hey, Lester.
Yeah?
Look up on the roof there. What's that glittering in the sun?
I don't know. Any idea, Rodriguez?
Me? Oh, no, senor.
Got a ladder around here?
Yes, one in the back, right beside the house there.
Let's get it.
Si, senor.
Hey, whose tennis shoes are these back here in this crate?
Yours. Oh, I guess they belong to Alberto.
Alberto, eh? When did he leave them there?
The day he go away?
Bought some new ones, huh?
I guess so.
Yeah, well, that was a good idea. These have blood on them.
Found that ladder yet?
Coming up. Grab hold, Rodriguez.
Okay.
All right. Shove her up against the eaves.
I'll take a look on the roof and see what's up there.
Find it?
I'll say.
What is it?
A watch chain. And I've got a hunch where it came from.
Yeah? Where?
Off the watch that our friend Rodriguez is carrying.
Is that so, Rodriguez?
Senor, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't, eh? Well, we'll take you along to jail and see if you can't think it out. Hello, George. How's business at the Indio Grocery?
Not so hot.
No?
It'd be all right if I collect what some of my customers owe me.
Such as old man Martin?
How'd you know he owed me anything?
Here's a sales slip we found in his car dated August 29th.
How'd you happen to get it?
Old man Martin's been murdered, George.
Murdered?
That's right.
Who did it?
That's what we'd like to know.
Do you remember who was with him last time he was in here?
Let me see now. That was the day of the big dust storm, wasn't it?
I believe it was.
Let me think. Yeah. He was that Rodriguez kid, Alberto.
Alberto again, huh?
Yeah, I remember now. Kid bought some shotgun shells.
Yeah. Old man Martin's head was blown off with a shotgun.
Well, thanks, George. We'll be seeing you. Juanita, what do you know about Alberto Rodriguez?
Not much. He's a pretty weak boy.
What do you mean, weak?
He does what his Uncle Alfredo tells him to do.
You think he'd kill a man?
If Alfredo told him to, he would.
Do you think he killed old John Martin?
Yes.
What makes you think so?
I've been keeping my eyes and ears open. You ask Lee Johnson a few questions, an Italian John, and Alfredo's brother, Alexander. You will learn a few things.
Such as?
You will find out that Alberto borrowed Italian John's shotgun the day old man Martin disappeared.
What else?
You will find out that Italian John is very angry about this shotgun.
Uh-huh. Go on.
And you will find out that Alexander will not talk about where Alberto is.
You know where he is yourself?
No, I could not find that out.
Okay, Juanita. Thanks. Let's start on John first, Lloyd. John, I want to know about your shotgun.
Yes? What you want to know? Where is it?
I don't know. She's annoying.
Don't start that stuff or you'll wind up behind an iron door. Where's that gun?
I tell you the truth. She's a no here. She's a broke.
How come?
I loaned it to us, Alberto. He say he go rabbit hunt. All day he's to go rabbit hunt. Then in the evening he's to come home. And his mother, she's bringing my shotgun to me, and she say, my boy is get a drink from a well. You drop your gun and she's broke. That's all I know. Who is going to pay me for my shotgun, huh?
We're not interested in that. We want to find Alberto.
You want him. I want him. I make him pay me for my shotgun.
Was there blood on your gun when Alberto brought it back?
How do you know that?
Never mind. I'll ask the questions. You just answer them.
Was there blood on the gun?
Sure.
Any idea how it got there?
No.
Where was the gun broken?
She's broke in the... Right.
Where's the gun now?
I take the gun to son Badu, the fix shop.
Okay, we'll look into that later, and you better be telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth. I'm always telling the truth. I'm no liar about the gun. She's broke.
Okay, forget it.
Your first name's Lee, isn't it, Johnson?
Yes, sir.
You know Alberto Rodriguez?
Sure, I know him.
When did you see him last?
Oh, about a month ago.
Any idea where he is now?
Nope, last I heard of him, he was supposed to have been in a fight in Coachella. Him and that uncle of his. And they both disappeared, and I haven't seen either one of them since.
Lloyd, get on the phone, will you, and check up and see if these two birds may be in a hospital somewhere in the valley?
Okay.
Where'd this fight take place?
Oh, Joe's beer joint in Coachella.
Check that one, too, will you, Lloyd?
Sure.
Did you know old man Martin?
Oh, sure, everybody knows Wendy.
Was he pretty friendly with this Rodriguez fellow?
Sure, used to lend him money. Let him use his car and all sorts of things.
You know much about this Alfredo guy?
Nope, nobody knew much about him. He come from Arizona.
Arizona, huh?
Yeah, they all come from over there somewhere close to Mesa. Why are you so interested in those two birds?
Oh, just nosy, I guess.
Well, Les, I checked the hospital at Mecca and Indio, the beer joint. No soap anywhere. Joe hasn't seen the two birds for a month at least. He said the fight didn't amount to anything anyway. Neither of them has shown up for treatment anywhere.
Well, it's not important anyway. I have a hunch the boys we want are in Arizona.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Now, according to the information I got about those two boys from the sheriff in Phoenix, they'd been seen around this pool hall.
How are we going to know them?
That's a problem. We'll have to take a chance on anybody that answers their description.
Well, we can't pick them up out here.
Good thing we have an agreement with Arizona about extradition.
Yeah, it might hold us up otherwise.
Hey, look.
Yeah?
There's a couple of monkeys who look pretty good
21 and the bird at the second table?
Uh-huh. Alberto's only 18, you know, and his uncle's only 31.
I think they're the babies we're looking for.
Let's take a chance. Oh, Alberto?
Somebody called me?
Yeah, I did. Come over here a minute. Now bring Alfredo with you.
Come on.
What a break.
Who are you? What do you want?
I want to talk with you a minute.
You know this man, Alfredo?
No. Well, don't be bashful, boys. We've been wanting to see you fellows for some time. You look a little homesick.
Oh, no. We're not homesick. We like it here, don't we, Alfredo?
Sure, we like it here.
Oh, you'll like it better back in California.
We never lived in California.
That's your story. Well, here's our...
What? Why you put these handcuffs on us? Who are you?
We're officers from the Sheriff's Department of Riverside County out in California. We've come to see that you boys get back home safe and sound so that you can spend the rest of your lives in jail.
What have we done? We are innocent.
Killing an old man because you thought he had a little money isn't very innocent. Come along.
Dios mío.
All right, Alberto. We've got Alfredo's side of the story. Now start talking.
What did he tell you?
Never mind what he told us. It's your story we're interested in.
What will they do with me if I tell you everything?
There's no telling. They might hang you.
No, they can't do that. It was Alfredo's fault. I didn't want to kill him.
You what?
I will not tell you.
Better change your mind.
You'll have to tell it in court anyway. Might as well help things out now by telling us about it.
All right. I tell you.
Get started.
Well, Alfredo and I, we got Italian John's shotgun. My father, he borrowed for him. I tell him I want to hunt rabbits. Alfredo said to me, I park my car in Big Grove, west of town. You bring all my martini out the grove, and we take his money.
Did you do it?
I get shotgun shells, and then all my martini, he go to the grocery store to buy groceries. Then we drive out the place where we're killing. I tell him I want to see about his car. I want to buy it from a fellow. And when we get out there, he say, I no see in the car. And I say, pretty soon now you see planning. Then my uncle, Alfredo, he walk up and shoot the old man in the back of the head. He fall down.
Was he dead?
No, he crawl around on the ground. Then my uncle said to me, Alberto, you finished the job. So I hit him with the gun. That was when the stock got broke. That is all that happened.
That's all, huh?
Si, senor.
How much money did you get?
$4.35.
$4.35. You killed a man for $4.35?
Si, senor. We bought beer with it. And then we decided to go away. It was very disappointing, senor.
Oh, you were disappointed, were you?
Oh, si, senor. It was very disappointing.
Too bad. Well, Alberto, you won't be disappointed this time.
No, senor?
No. We'll see to it that you get everything you deserve.
In just a moment, Under Sheriff Lynch will conclude our story. Before presenting the closing facts, friends, I want to urge each of you who hasn't done so to put the new all-purpose Rio Grande crack to a personal test. I want you to find out to your own complete satisfaction the truth of what I've told you about this radically new and different gasoline. That the perfect blending of a double portion of ingredients does give you a motor fuel that for once in automotive history meets every purpose. It makes your car surpass any previous performance in every department of driving. This new cracked gasoline is liquid dynamite. Get it at any red and white Rio Grande station. And now, Under Sheriff Steve Lynch.
Alfredo and Alberto were not disappointed. They received life sentences in San Quentin, where they are living examples of the fact that crime cannot pay. Incidentally, Deputy Crevecoeur recovered from his spider bite and is still a member of Sheriff Rayburn's staff.
Thank you, Under Sheriff Lynch.
Riverside County Sheriff's Office calling all cars. Attention all cars to cancellation broadcast 287 regarding a murder. Suspects in this case are now in custody. That's all. Roll
This is your narrator, Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for Rio Grande.
Next week at this hour, Rio Grande will present The Plague of the Black Locust. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Century, one cherished fact has united mankind in an ageless devotion, the love of home. Common to every race of the earth's peoples, love of home has been the foundation stone of civilization. Fundamentally, it inspired Americans of ideas and courage to found a nation, to build it and make it great. To all Americans, one song expresses this love and the meaning and dignity of the American home. That song is Home Sweet Home, written by that meteoric genius whose story the Cavalcade of America brings you tonight, John Howard Payne. As our overture, Don Voorhees and the DuPont Cavalcade Orchestra play Heaven Can Wait.
There was no hint of the strange destiny in store for the son born to William and Sarah Payne in the New York of 1791. Christened John Howard, the boy received his early education in Boston, steeping his young ambitious mind in theatrical traditions and coming to astonish Back Bay audiences as a sensationally remarkable child actor. Then in 1804, the Payne family returned to New York. And for over a year, young John Howard worked in a counting house and dreamed of literature and the drama. One morning in 1806, in the offices of the New York Evening Post, John Seaman confers with its editor, William Coleman.
John, read this review of James Fennell's Hamlet.
The Thespian Mirror, eh? We recommend to Mr. Fennell that he, by all means, sit up in a chair. As he lay upon the floor, he reminded us of the passage, extended long and large, lay floating many a rude and bulkous huge. Also, we enter our critical protest against the black and white leg. There's too much method in this line of madness. Clever to say the least. Who wrote it?
What if I told you it was a boy, just past 13?
That wasn't written by a boy.
You saw him this morning.
Where?
In my outer office. I sent for him. You know, John, we both ought to know a boy like that. Master Payne, will you come this way, please?
Yes, sir. I want to thank you.
Come in, my boy. This is my friend John Seaman.
How do you do, sir?
How are you, my boy?
We've been reading your Thespian Mirror. I'd like to reprint that Fennell review.
Oh, please don't, sir. You see, my father doesn't like my being interested in the theater, and
What does your father do, son?
Nothing now. He was a schoolmaster.
Oh, I see.
Are you really only 14?
Well, yes, sir.
How do you manage to go to the theater?
I save up for gallery seats, sir. You see, I have to help my father, and Mother's ill. But I go to the Park Theater every chance I get.
Judging from this article, you go there for a purpose.
Well, sir, I want to be an actor and write plays, too.
You'll need a proper education, son, if you're going to be a dramatist.
I know, sir.
Have you thought about college?
Yes. Yes, I've thought about it, but...
Anyone who can write dramatic criticisms at 14, like a veteran... Coleman, I'm going to help this boy. John, I'm going to send you to Union College. From there on, it's up to you.
John went to Union College, and on his mother's death, he left to come to New York to begin one of the most brilliant careers in the annals of the American theater. He made his debut February 24th, 1809, on the stage of New York's historic old playhouse, the Park, America's first great theater. The 2,000 seats of the auditorium were filled. The play, Douglas, with 17-year-old John Howard Payne in Scottish kilts, a young novel. In the wings, his father stands with the boy's patron, John Seaman.
And as the warriors move, each volley held corselet and spear.
Aren't you proud of your son now, Mr. Payne?
Maybe I was wrong to oppose him, but the stage, an actor's always a no man.
The phalanx burns. The blood of Douglas will protect itself.
Listen to that applause. The boy's magnificent. They're bringing up the curtain for his bow.
He is pleased, isn't he?
Father, Mr. Seaman, how was it?
Wonderful, my boy. Great.
The manager said they wanted to keep me on for 6 more nights. He came to me just before the last act.
Magnificent, my boy. Magnificent.
Thank you, Mr. Price. You're very kind.
We must discuss plans for our new star. Boston must see him, then Providence, Philadelphia, Baltimore.
Perfect. When do we start?
You'd better start changing that costume so you can come to my supper. Don't leave by the stage door, though. There's a crowd out there all waiting to see you now.
I'll hurry. Pardon me, Father. Pardon me, Mr. Seaman.
A prodigy, gentlemen. A veritable prodigy. He'll go far, that boy. And after America has seen him, then London and world stardom. Mark my words.
For the next 4 years, John Howard Payne was the youthful wonder of the theater. Praise and adoration was showered on him. Then, just turned 22, he captivated the London public at Britain's great and stately temple of theatrical tradition, Drury Lane. Known as the American Rochus, he achieved phenomenal success in Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Barbarossa, and his old vehicle, Douglas. But success bred him providence. And one night in his dressing room...
Come in. Oh, Miss Tree.
Well, you're looking rather mournful for a young man who's the talk of London.
It's these bills and the creditors who go with them.
I just don't seem to know how to handle them.
But with your success, Mr. Payne.
Afraid I never did have a head for business. Perhaps I'm spending too much money.
Well, if you will consort with all the famous names in England, the Kembles, Coleridge, Southey. I've heard about your social triumphs, Mr. Payne.
Let's not talk about me. I'm glad you're in the play tonight, Miss Tree. You know, I heard you singing the other day at rehearsal. You have a lovely voice. You should be an operetta.
Oh, that's what I want to do, Mr. Payne. I love singing. But no one's given me a chance. Not yet.
Yes? Oh, you, Bridges.
Yes, sir. A letter for you, sir. Just delivered. It's from America, I think.
See. My brother's handwriting.
Mr. Payne, are you all right?
My father's dead.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
They're both gone now. Mother, father. Makes you feel lost. Or alone.
I know. And you're so far away from home.
Home? Guess I never really had a home since I was quite a small boy. We lived on Long Island then. House in the country. Big orchard. Yes, that was home. But we left it years ago.
I suppose you'd rather be left alone. I'll go.
No, don't go. Stay for a while, and after the play, we'll get some supper and we'll talk. We'll have a long talk about your singing. Will you? Will you please? Tonight?
All right. Yes, I will, Mr. Payne.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Miss Tree.
There was the charm and fashion of the Regency in the streets and parks of London that summer. But although John Howard Payne passed from drawing room to drawing room in the elegant townhouses of the period, there came to him the realization when the guests departed and the carriages left that there was no place he was really wanted. He was looking for something that always eluded him. And one day he met the golden-haired Mary Godwin.
Mary.
You'd better finish that tea, John. It's getting cold.
Oh, I've been sitting here for the last hour swallowing tea in oceans, and we've talked about everything from the lakes of Killarney to the Prince Regent's New Westcott. Let's talk about something that really matters.
Really matters, John?
Well, your eyes, for one thing. They do. I've been trying to make up my mind what color they are.
They're dark.
Darkness is so uncertain.
John, do you think I'm uncertain?
I don't know, Mary. There's so much in the world that's uncertain. I'd hate to think you were. Listen, my dear. You know how it is to love one so deeply that every minute you're apart is an intolerable agony?
John, listen to
Mary,
me.
Can't you see what I mean?
John, listen
We can
to
be
me.
happy together, Mary. All that happiness means, a home, friends. We'd make life wonderful and beautiful.
John, dear, listen.
Yes?
John, I want you to read this. It was written by a very dear friend of mine. I always carry it with me.
Written by a friend of yours. Upon my heart, thy accents sweet of peace and pity fell, like dew on flowers half dead. Thy lips did meet mine tremblingly. Thy dark eyes threw their soft persuasion on my brain, charming away its dream of pain. By Percy B. Shelley.
You see, John, I'm not uncertain.
Gone were Payne's hopes, and the delights of London society had little charm. Meanwhile, the rocket flare of his first success failed to become a fixed light in the sky. The same fate that pursues so many youthful prodigies overtook John Howard Payne. He lost his stripling look, put on too much weight, sank deeper into debt. Then he moved on to Paris, where he made adaptations of popular French dramas for the English stage. We find him in Montmartre several years later in 1822. He and Washington Irving, none too prosperous himself in those days, have been collaborating on a new play.
After all, John, this life isn't too bad.
Oh, hack work, I know. It earns a living. Bohemian life isn't so bad when you're young, Irving. If only people didn't crowd around and call you a genius when you were a mere boy. No, confound all that. Let's go out and have some supper. Oh, by the way, I scribbled off a little poem this afternoon.
That's the spirit.
An odd thing. All of a sudden, I felt very alone in a strange city. You know what I mean?
I certainly do.
You remember that tune we heard in Sicily? Well, I've passed it on to Henry Bishop. We can use it in Clary. And the poem I wrote this afternoon fits the melody exactly. Remember it,
Not the way you hum it. But let's hear the poem.
All right. Mid places and palaces, though we may roam, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. A charm from the skies seems to hallow us there, like the spell of a mother, surpassing all other, which seek through the world is ne'er met with elsewhere. Home. Home, sweet, sweet home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
I like it, John.
I can just hear it now at Covent Garden in Clary. Anne Maria Trees singing it.
Clary was a triumph, but such were the hazards of his strange nomad's life that when John Howard Payne returned to America in 1832, he was virtually penniless. For some time, he lived in the forests of Georgia with the Cherokee Indians and their leader, Chief Ross. He wrote pamphlets on their grievances and supported them in their opposition to the border authorities. Then one night, without government sanction, a troop of Georgia cavalry raided the Cherokee village. Payne and the chieftain Ross were taken prisoners.
Now, Mr. Payne, just mount this horse and we'll be starting.
Have you official warrant for this action? I'm going to protest to Washington.
We'll see about all that when we get you to Army headquarters.
How far is that?
Oh, about 25 miles. Here, Pete, bring up that other horse for the chief. Now, get mounted, Injun. Pete, you ride alongside these fellows. Company, mount!
Well, Ross, there doesn't seem much else to do about it.
Cherokees used to injustice. I'm sorry you, our friends, must suffer also.
Oh, don't worry about me.
Come, forward!
Anyway, Ross, fine night for a ride. Look at that moon sliding up over the trees. Listen. What's that you're singing, soldier?
That's Home Sweet Home.
Trooper, ride a little nearer, will you? Want to ask you a question.
All right. Well, what?
Did you know you had just arrested the author of that song you're singing, lad?
You're the author of Home Sweet Home? Sure you are. And I wrote the Monroe Doctrine. Get up.
Payne was held prisoner for a few days and then released. After that, his wanderings began again. Through the efforts of influential friends, he secured the post of American consul at Tunis on the northern coast of Africa. He was over 50 now, but at last the future looked secure.
A little more coffee, please, Ahmed. Where is the vice consul?
He comes now, Sidi. I have just seen him below in the street.
Oh, there you are, Gail. Very pleasant here on the balcony at this hour. Will you have some coffee?
No, thank you.
Sit down. You know, Gail, I feel quite at home here. I want to tell you something amusing. The other day, at an official audience, the Bey ordered one of his musicians...
Mr. Payne, I've got bad news. I don't know just how to tell you. Here's a letter from the State Department. A new administration has come in at Washington.
Well, yes, of course, my boy.
A new consul has been appointed for Tunis, and well, sir, we've been recalled.
Recalled? I expect I should have known. At home. Those just aren't words for me to use.
Another period of wandering in Italy, France, England, and again America. All homeless to the writer of Home Sweet Home. Finally, in 1851, friends obtained the reappointment of John Howard Payne to the consular service at Tunis. But by the next winter, his health was failing rapidly. Over 60 years of age, he struggled to carry on his official duties. And with pathetic eagerness, welcomed every friend who came across the sea from America to the shores of Tunis.
It's so good of you to come, Philip. And you say you saw my nephew Thatcher in New York?
Yes, just before I sailed for Naples. He seemed well. But you, is your health quite good, Mr. Payne? When I saw you today, I wondered if this climate was suitable.
Oh, I'm well enough. Did you enjoy your dinner, Philip? That cook of ours manages pretty well usually, but sometimes for Americans it's rather bizarre.
I've never eaten anything quite like it. It was awfully good, Mr. Payne. Tell me, though, don't you ever feel, rather lonely here?
Not often. His Highness the Bey has been very kind. Why, when I returned here last summer, he himself came to the harbor to welcome me. Salutes were fired. The flags were out. I was pleased, I'll confess. And look, he's presented me with that piano. It was kind of him. Pianos are rare in this part of the world. The great trouble is I've never learned to make much use of one myself. I wish you'd play a bit. You used to play so well, my boy.
I haven't kept up with it much, but I'll try.
Thanks, Philip. I don't hear music often. Not our music. Sometimes sitting here, I wonder why my life has taken so strange a course. Perhaps the fault lies in me. I don't quite understand. Success seems so easy when a man's young.
People wonder a lot about you, Mr. Payne.
Yes, I suppose they do.
They just can't imagine why you never married or had, sir, a home. A man so gifted.
People like to have illusions about me, Philip. Marry, home, you say? Philip, did I ever tell you about Mary Godwin? Mary Shelley. I knew her in London. That was quite a hopeless love. What a lovely girl Anne-Marie Tree was, Philip. She was the young actress who first sang Home Sweet Home. That was Clary at Covent Garden. She's Mrs. Bradshaw now. If only we could learn to face reality sooner. Take stock of our faults in youth. Life would be a better thing for all of us. Oh, don't stop, Philip. Play something more.
There's one song I'd like to play for you, Mr. Payne.
Well, now, I was rather hoping you'd come to that, Philip. Strange, isn't it, hearing that song? An old man here in Africa.
A few weeks later, Payne, age 62, was dead. He was buried in Tunis among strangers. Many years later, in 1883, his body was brought back to Washington with honors and placed beneath a memorial shaft in Oak Hill Cemetery. Home at last. Perhaps John Howard Payne was a man who never fulfilled his early promise. Luck and success smiled on him in youth. and passed him by. But his courage seldom faltered through the long years of a devious and defeated life. There's a strange justice in the fact that this wanderer, a lonely man, should have left Americans a song of home which will never be forgotten. And now here's Basil Rysdale speaking for the DuPont Company and bringing us another story from the wonder world of chemistry.
The science of chemistry does many jobs that are little known to the public, but are fine examples of better things for better living. When I say dyestuffs, you probably think of fabrics, of the fast colors developed by chemists. But unless you're a doctor, you wouldn't be likely to think of your health in connection with dyes. Just the same, the health of the whole nation depends a great deal on the tiny fraction of the dye business devoted to biological stains. These biological stains are the dyes that make germs visible on the glass slides put under a microscope, helping the doctor determine quickly what disease he has to fight. A good example of this is shown by diphtheria, which was almost impossible to detect in its early stages. The 3 or 4 days it used to take to diagnose diphtheria often made the difference between life and death. Today, at the first sign of a suspicious sore throat, the doctor makes use of a dye called methylene blue that has a peculiar effect on the rod-shaped diphtheria germ, staining it blue at both ends. Other biological stains serve to identify other diseases, and thus dyes do an extra job as the eyes of medical science, saving human lives by giving warning of danger. Well, here's another curious tale. Nearly everyone knows about the important jobs done by industrial explosives in blasting tunnels, in mining coal and metals, draining swamps, and many others. But have you heard how American scientists searching for the lost continent of Appalachia are using an explosive to map the sea bottom? To do this, they set off the explosive on the floor of the ocean, creating artificial earthquakes that are recorded on sensitive submerged instruments. When pulled up from the depths, these instruments show wavy lines that tell geologists all sorts of facts about the rock structure below sea bottom, even though it's covered by water 3 miles deep. Many examples are queer indeed. For instance, out of cellulose, DuPont makes a new kind of sponge, a sponge with special advantages for bathing, cleaning, dishwashing, and many other uses. But how do you suppose it does a job in the game of baseball? Well, a sporting goods manufacturer discovered that this sponge material made excellent stuffing for catcher's mitts, and many a hot curve now speeds over the plate to smack into a cushion made by chemists. And these are only a few examples of the many little-known jobs that chemistry does. Yes, extra service by products of chemical research, giving added meaning to the DuPont pledge, better things for better living through chemistry.
Next week, the Cavalcade of America will present the story of Patrick Henry. And our special guest speaker will be the man who is the historical advisor of the Cavalcade of America, the eminent historian James Treslow Adams. On tonight's program, the part of John Howard Payne was played by Ray Collins. Until next week, then, at this time, this is Thomas Chalmers saying good night and best wishes from DuPont.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The American West. Once it could have been the British, Spanish, or even the Russian West. It became American primarily because of the explorations of 2 young Army officers, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark. Their pioneering journey stands as one of the great achievements in the history of the United States.
Watch that sail, Cruzat. You'll upset us in this wind.
You wish to handle the boat, Charbonneau.
No, but I want you to stop taking chances. My wife and my baby are aboard, and I cannot swim.
Stop worrying, Charbonneau. Cruzat is playing that sail as expertly as he does his violin. He'll get us extra miles today.
Less hauling and pulling when the wind dies away, Charbonneau. Who's that? Want to play the fiddle tonight?
Oh, that's up to Captain Lewis, Windsor.
I'll make you a bargain. Get us 25 miles and you can play, the men can dance, and I'll order a dram issued to each man. Scanner, quiet.
What's that antelope, sir?
Antelope?
There, in the river.
A good fat buck, sir. Can I send the dog after him?
You would kill the captain's dog, Windsor?
Don't worry about Scannon, Charbonneau. You pulled an antelope out of the river once before you joined the expedition. All right, Scannon, go get him.
I don't know about you, Captain, but I'm tired of buffalo meat every night for supper. Will you look at that dog swim?
Suppose the current switched him downstream to the opposite shore.
Not Scannon. He'll come back to the boat. If he doesn't, we'll go help him.
Look, he's got that antelope.
Horizons West, the continued story of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Now with Harry Bartell as Meriwether Lewis and John Anderson as William Clark, listen to Chapter 4, Into the Unknown. April 26, 1805. It was 3 weeks since the Corps of Discovery left their winter quarters near the Mandan villages in what is now the state of North Dakota. Favorable winds had brought them over 300 miles up the Missouri into more unsettled country, unexplored by the white man.
That night we made camp opposite the mouth of a river which poured swiftly into the Missouri. Billy Clark identified it as the Yellowstone from descriptions given us by the Mandan Indians. Along with the buffalo meat provided by George Dreyar's rifle, we had antelope for supper provided by Scannon, who lay by the fire.
Yeah, Scannon.
Sure you want him to have that, George?
He earned it, Captain Lewis. No longer am I, George Dreyar, the best hunter in this Corps. Oh, by the way, from now on, it will be wise to keep the dog close to you, sir. We are in grizzly bear country. Scannon might make the mistake of going after one of them.
He might. Right now, he's not afraid of anything.
Excuse me, Captain Lewis, but Cruzat says we came 30 miles today.
28, by my reckoning.
28? Thank you, sir. Anyhow, Cruzat wants to know if we should get out his fiddle.
28's more than 25, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Tell Sergeant Ordway to issue a drink to each man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're letting them dance tonight?
They need fun and relaxation. The minute the wind stops, they'll be pulling the boats upriver, and they won't have enough energy left to dance.
You're right, Meriwether. George, the Indians say grizzlies are the most dangerous of all animals. The Mandans go in bands to hunt them. Riflemen should do the same. A grizzly can keep charging even with a dozen shots in his body. Only a ball to the brain stops him dead.
I suppose we'll have to go after a few of them in the interest of science. We'll need some specimens for Mr. Jefferson. At least the bones and the skin.
The grizzly I saw this morning was at least 8 feet tall, and I guess his weight is about 1,000 pounds.
Excuse me, Captain Lewis, but I brought a dram for George Dreyar.
Thank you, Windsor. Thank you.
Now, where's mine? Where's Captain Lewis's?
But Captain Lewis said issue whiskey to the men.
Officers aren't men?
Well, yes, sir. I mean, no.
You know, Windsor, officers can be human. Bring us some, too.
Yes, sir.
I hope they're having a good time.
You can tell that by looking at them. Billy, it's kind of miraculous the way they can forget both past and future ordeals for the joys of the moment. The next day was without wind, but the current thrust at the boats with undiminished power. Billy Clark ordered men on the oars and the poles, and stout lines, some of rope and some of elkskin, were run from the prows of the boats to the shore, where men strained on them to pull the boats upstream.
All
right, men, put your backs into it.
Because we all shared the work equally, I put my back into it, too.
Watch it, Captain Lewis. Prickly pear up ahead.
I know, Winter.
All right, heave! Heave! Ho! Backs into it there, backs into it. Heave!
I went through the prickly pear because it was the only path a man could follow and still keep the power of his legs and back into the tow rope. I felt the thorns jabbing through my tough buffalo hide moccasins, and I almost indulged myself in the luxury of crying out in pain. Instead, I arched my muscles against the rope across my shoulders, and within a couple of hours I had forgotten the pain in my feet in favor of the pain in my lungs.
All right, men, tie the boat. Take yourselves a rest.
Windsor and I tied our boat and then flopped to the ground. Immediately, he got out his knife and began digging the thorns from his feet.
12 of them, Captain. I sure hope the next stretch is muddy.
Yes, I got you beat by 5, Windsor.
17? You better hope it's muddy, sir.
The following day, I stayed on shore to verify certain geographical features described by the Mandan. Noting signs of bear, I armed myself with rifle, knife, and my espontu, a short spear hatchet issued to all infantry officers. I followed the Missouri to where a small stream tumbled into the main river from the north. Inland a few miles, it would be broken by rapids. If it was the stream the Mandans had named the Medicine River. I came across a buffalo cow. Not knowing how far away the rapids were, I decided to provide myself with food. It was a good clean shot which dropped the beast in her tracks, and I moved toward a potential lunch, supper, and breakfast. Then I heard the grizzly in turn. The sound of my rifle had angered the huge creature, and he was lumbering toward me. I swung my rifle upward, only to remember that I had fired it and had not reloaded. I ran as fast as I could through the bear was about to run me down. I angled toward the rapids, death of a different kind if I should plunge into them. In desperation, I dropped my empty rifle and presented the oncoming monster with the lethal end of my espontu. For some unaccountable reason, or perhaps it was the intervention of God, the grizzly stopped, looked at me, turned, and ran away. I reloaded my rifle and moved on upriver. Once more, I sensed something stalking and caught a backward glimpse of a large panther-like animal. I shot him dead, and then came upon a vast area taken over entirely by prickly pear. I had verified the river, I told myself. No use tearing my feet apart. I started back toward the main park. It was very late at night when I reached the sleeping camp, toting buffalo meat for myself and whoever else might want some for breakfast.
Who goes there?
Lewis, Meriwether Lewis.
Come on in.
Buffalo meat.
You look worn out.
I am. I verified the Medicine River and was attacked by a grizzly.
You got him, obviously, or you wouldn't be here.
He caught me with an unloaded rifle, but he changed his mind and ran away. After cornering me, too. I think perhaps the Almighty stepped in on my side.
Meriwether, you are a lucky man.
I know.
Had supper?
No.
Well, let me fry you one of those buffalo steaks.
You know, Billy, I think I'd rather fight 2 Indians any day than 1 grizzly.
I know I would. Big ones, anyway.
I guess they all are when they're after you.
Before I put on the meat, how about a dram?
I could use one.
Well, I'll have one with you.
I tossed a few sticks on the fire and watched the flames twist and dart and grow as they seized on the wood. As I do occasionally, I blessed the unknown human who first stumbled upon the secret of making fire millenniums and millenniums ago. Fire and the wheel, the 2 prime discoveries of man.
2 thimbles in a bottle. Pour, Meriwether.
With pleasure. Billy, fire or the wheel, which is the greater discovery?
Neither.
Whiskey. Here's to your kind-hearted grizzly bear.
With one swipe of a paw, he could have eliminated me. Here's to the paw he didn't raise.
The hardest animal in the world to kill, and you with an unloaded rifle.
Even if it had been loaded, I'd have had to hit him in the eye to drop him with a single shot.
George Rouillard did it once.
No, I thought of that on the way in. I realize now what a tremendous feat that was.
Master Hunter.
I came to another conclusion about the grizzly. The thing that makes him so dangerous isn't just his physical ability, it's his unpredictable nature.
You mean his intelligence?
Yes. You have to be intelligent to be unpredictable. I suppose he turned away because he didn't like my human smell.
Well, it all points up one great need for men like us, men who go wandering out in the wilderness.
What's that, Billy?
A third or fourth great discovery or invention, a dependable, practical, repeating rifle.
For days, adverse weather conditions continued, and we were forced to use the tow ropes constantly. Every man in the Corps limped about on sore and lacerated feet. Then, on May 14th, we were awakened by a breeze caressing our faces.
Feel that, Meriwether?
Praying it turns into a wind.
Come on, everybody. Everybody up. On your feet. All right, let's go.
By the time we pushed off from the shore, the breeze had quickened. Our sails filled, and we scudded along upriver.
Any suggestions about playing sail, Charbonneau?
Mon Dieu, Cruzat. Surely you can increase our pace. Surely you can extract more from so brisk a wind.
The wind held. By noon, we were sure it would hold the rest of the day and maybe longer. And Billy and I broke a rule which we had followed until this moment. We both went ashore at the same time to catch up on the botanizing.
That's a fine day. I'll have no trouble with the boats.
With this wind, we'll have to walk a good 10 miles to catch up to their evening camp.
Hey, Meriwether, look. I've never seen a grass like this. If it is a true grass.
Sheath leaves. I'd say it is family Graminia, all right, but this particular variety is new to me, too. We better take a few specimens. Billy, it's a big white boat. They're in trouble.
What's Charbonneau doing at the tiller?
Into the wind, Charbonneau, into the wind!
Hey, he can't hear you.
We both continued to yell and ran down to the edge of the water, although those in the boat were too far away to pay us any heed. It was a frightening sight. Charbonneau made no move to control the helm, and the boat, at the mercy of the wind, capsized.
Most of our medicines are in that boat.
Then a fortunate gust of wind righted the large canoe, and Cruzat, pointing what certainly must have been a wet pistol at Charbonneau, made him take the tiller and obey instructions.
Look at Sacagawea.
Calmly, the Shoshone woman held her baby in the crook of one arm and used her hands to scoop up and save articles which threatened to drift away from the partially flooded boat. While the men bailed, Cruzat browbeat Charbonneau into beaching the craft. We ran down to the boat in time to keep Cruzat from attacking Charbonneau.
Yellow dog, I will break your head wide open. Try it, fiddler, try it.
Stop it. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Captain, but you rushed.
You men, Fields, Lafarge, Shields, McNeil, unload the boat. Put out the gear to dry.
When's the start of fire?
Yes, sir.
Cruzat, I want to know what happened.
Well, sir, I was in charge of the boat. I supposed either you or Captain Clark told Charbonneau to take the helm.
Rouillard had it all morning, didn't he?
Yes, sir. I assigned you to your post, Rouillard. Why didn't you resume it after the noon meal?
Well, Charbonneau acts like he belonged there. He say it was his turn at the tiller.
After this, nobody assume anything without verifying it. Is that clear?
Yes, Captain.
Yes, sir.
Charbonneau, did I say anything that gave you the idea I wanted you with that tiller?
No, sir.
Then why did you do it?
Well, sir, boats fascinate me. I want to be in them. I want to steer them. I'll be all right except for a fear of the water.
If you ever touch the sail or the tiller of a boat again without orders, I'll have you shot.
wind increased, but of course we were compelled to spend the afternoon drying the contents of the boat instead of sailing briskly upriver. Luckily, we lost only a few items, all medicine. And by night, we had repacked everything and covered it against what proved to be a thunderstorm. We camped under a thick stand of trees. While fires were made and supper started, we were protected against sudden onslaughts of rain by the interlaced canopy of branches overhead. It had been a frustrating day, and the moment the evening meal was over, the men sought out their blankets. Feeling wakeful, wondering how much we would have to endure before reaching the Rocky Mountains, I took the first watch. The camp was heavily asleep. I remained under the biggest of the trees where Billy Clark, George Drouillard, Cruzat, and several others were sleeping. Scannon lay near me. Scannon, be quiet. I want to wake the whole camp. The dog pushed to his feet. He stared at me, the tree, then back at me as if he were trying to tell me something. Now the men about me were beginning to get up. I'm first Scannon and then me.
What's wrong with that dog, Captain?
I think we'd better get clear of the tree. Fast.
All right, all the way, George. You're not in the clear.
Yes, sir.
We reached safety just in time as lightning struck the tree, which came crashing to the ground. The noise awakened the entire camp. For a moment, while the others rushed to surround us, we who were directly concerned were silent. Then Cruzat managed to speak.
Thank heaven we all got clear.
It was Scannon. He kept at us until we moved.
You mean that dog knew?
Some dogs have a perception like a sixth sense.
From now on, Scannon gets the choice of the meat that I shoot.
The big dog stood there looking at us, his tongue lolling and his tail wagging. I showed him my approval by scratching his ears, and so did Billy. But the others just wanted to touch him, as if he were some sort of magic talisman.
Next morning, there was no rain, no wind. Back to the tow ropes again. Meriwether, hobbling on the sorest feet in the group, stayed ashore, moving slowly toward an upriver bluff he was determined to climb for a panoramic view of the area. Along about midday, when we had to stop to switch those of the oars with those of the tow ropes, we were near the foot of the bluff. Meriwether was on top of it, tottering a bit on his bandaged feet.
Below! Down below! Those who can, come on up!
Cruzat, Windsor, and I made the climb, and we weren't disappointed. Many, many miles to the west, we saw the shining, snow-capped crests of a rugged, youthful range of mountains.
Look at that.
Those are the Western Mountains, huh?
Indians call them the Shining Mountains, or the Rockies.
Looking at them gives a man some hope. We are getting there.
I hope we don't have to pull the boats over them.
Wait, did you feel that? Is there a wind coming up?
Yes, I feel it too.
All right, come on, let's get back to the boats. Let's use that wind, get a few miles closer to those snowy monsters.
The evening of June 2nd, we reached a place where another river joined the Missouri, forming a sort of rough Y, with each fork approximately the size of the other.
Looks like a problem to me, Meriwether. We're to follow the Missouri, but which is the Missouri?
At this time of night, I don't know. Let's wait till morning.
It's going to be a hard decision, night or morning. Let's bolster morale by asking Charbonneau to cook supper.
Whatever weaknesses Charbonneau had, they had nothing to do with his culinary skills. Well-filled stomachs made us sleep easily, and we awoke to a morning which showed us our dilemma of the two rivers in bright sunshine.
Meriwether, both forks look about the same width. I judge they're about equal in volume of water. Either one could be the Missouri.
We need to do a little reconnoitering.
Most of the men are footsore and exhausted. We'll have to keep reconnaissance parties at minimum strength.
5 or 6 each.
If you agree, I'll explore the South Fork with York, Sergeant Gass, George Shannon, and the two Fields boys.
It's a fairly healthy group. I'll take Sergeant Pryor, Shields, Windsor, La Paz, Cruzat, and Drouillard. Might be a good idea if Sergeant Ordway moves camp to the spit of land between rivers. The men can rest and make new markers.
Good. How far upstream do you want to go?
Let's figure a maximum of 4 days.
Well, that should tell us something definite.
We assembled our respective patrols. In a few minutes after Billy Clark had started along the South Fork, I led my 6 men along the banks of the North Fork. This river seemed to be flowing in almost a north-south direction, through open plains-type country.
It's the Missouri, Captain.
It looks like that.
Same old Missouri mud.
And the same old prickly pear along the opposite bank.
Then you all think it's the Missouri because the water's muddy.
And the bottom, too, it's earthy and soft.
If it is the Missouri, how do you account for the north-south direction? The way to the Pacific is west.
Sooner or later, it will turn west, sir.
I wish I could be as certain as you are. George, you and Sergeant Pryor better move on ahead and shoot us some dinner.
Yes, sir. What is your pleasure? Buffalo, elk, deer, bear, or waterfowl?
How about prairie dogs?
What, you mean that, sir?
You better get a few just in case there's nothing bigger available.
Yes, sir.
As it turned out, Pryor and Drouillard shot elk along with the prairie dogs, but fussy appetite or not, I found I preferred the latter. By the third day, I became convinced that the North Fork could not be part of our route to the Pacific. I know you all believe this river's the Missouri, but you're wrong.
Well, then what is it, Captain? The one that the Mandans talked about, the river that scolds all others?
No, we passed that one back 100 or so miles.
Captain Luis, I will swear this is the Missouri.
We'll take one last look. From the top of the cliff up ahead, if the river doesn't turn west, we're going back to camp. Pryor, you and Shields and Drouillard stay here and build a raft. We can save time by floating back to camp.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Windsor, let's go.
Yes, sir.
We started up a slope that was cliff-like in its steepness. Gasping, we reached the halfway point of the ascent, where the ground leveled off a bit. To the left of me was a deep chasm. When I felt myself going, I drove my pontoon into the side of the cliff and hung on. Slowly, I pulled myself back to safety, only to hear Windsor cry out.
Help, Captain! Help!
Windsor had slipped too. He was lying on his stomach with his right arm and leg clawing at the air. The moment the strength in his left arm waned, he would plunge to his death. I eyed him, pretending a confidence I certainly didn't feel.
Help me, Captain. I'm going to fall.
No, you're not. Do as I say and you'll get clear. Use your right hand to reach your knife. Right hand, I said.
All right. I got it.
Now, dig a toe hold for your right foot. That's it. Put your right foot in.
Yes, sir.
Now, shove upward to the left with both feet. Hard. Good. Rest a minute. Get your breath. And we'll find an easier way to the top.
Thank you, sir. I thought it was all over.
We made it to the top. Shading our eyes with our hands, we followed the progress of the river. It continued a winding course north with no significant turn to the west. Using a different descent, we returned to the river bank where the other four were grouped about a partially built makeshift raft, eyeing it dubiously.
He's no use, Captain. There just is not enough wood here to make a seaworthy raft.
On the way back to the main camp, a disagreeable trip because rain turned the earth into a particularly viscous mud beside the river, I spoke of the two rivers to the men. Each was convinced that this muddy North Fork was the Missouri. It's carrying a load of silt from the Canadian plains.
Silt from here, too, sir.
It could make its western turn beyond where we could see from that hill.
I stopped discussing the question because I knew that ultimately the decision would have to be mine and Billy Clark's. It was another command decision and a crucial one. An error in judgment, and we could be taken many hundreds of miles out of our way. And by the time we retraced our steps, it would be too late in the season to attempt the crossing of the Rocky Mountains. cold, wet, and tired. We reached the main camp 2 days late. After a warm meal and a chance to dry out, I was ready to attack the problem of the two rivers.
Men, move in here so Captain Lewis and I can talk to you.
About the rivers, Captain Clark?
That's right. I think we all know that a wrong decision could possibly cause the failure of the expedition. At the very best, it could delay our arrival on the Pacific coast a year. Charbonneau, did you discuss it with Sacagawea?
Yes, Captain. We spent much time talking. When she was stolen from her people 5 years ago by the Gros Ventre raiding party, they stayed away from the rivers where they might find other Indians. They rode swift horses overland, clear to the Dakota country.
She remembers no talk among her people about these two rivers.
No, but it is her opinion that the muddy one is the Missouri. For what it is worth, that is also my opinion.
The 6 men who went with me also agree with that.
Well, simply because the South Fork is clean and clear with a pebbled bed. That's not the Missouri they've struggled with the past year, but it does happen to be the Missouri of the mountains before taking on a burden of plains country silt. And it does head west.
None of us wants to make a mistake, sir. None of us wants to fail any more than you. Since I got back from the reconnaissance with Captain Lewis, I've talked to everyone. 29 of us are in favor of the North Fork. 30 if you count Sacagawea.
Well, you may be in favor of it, Windsor, but that doesn't matter. The decision has to come from Captain Lewis and me.
Some of you may know that I have a fiancée back in Virginia, Miss Maria Wood. Very attractive young lady. I've just named the North Fork Maria's River after her, so it can't be the Missouri.
I don't mean to say that your opinions don't count, because without you, there would be no Corps of Discovery. What I do mean is that Captain Lewis and I have to live with the results of the decision, good or bad.
That's one of the penalties of being an officer. We both want you to get as much rest as possible today. Tomorrow we move west, up to Missouri, the clear South Fork that leads to the mountains.
The men thought we were wrong, yet they were determined to follow us. This loyal group was a far cry from the half-disciplined Corps of Discovery that set out from St. Louis over a year ago. Suddenly, I felt like a giant. Because of the men, we would make it. We would stand on the Pacific shore, and we would make it back to report our discovery.
You have been listening to Horizons West, the continued story of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Chapter 4, Into the Unknown, starred Harry Bartell as Meriwether Lewis and John Anderson as William Clark. Featured in the cast were Carl Swenson, Sebastian Cabot, Don Diamond, Stephen Bell, and Dal McCannon. Our story was written by Carl A. and William Tunberg and directed by William Lally. Sound patterns by Gene Twombly. Michael Rye speaking. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
some few men to speak when others of their fellows cannot, to speak out when still others dare not, to supply watchwords for multitudes. At a stroke, uniting men in a single cause, and by the very force of their inspiration, molding the form and direction of a people's destiny. At a great moment in American history, one such man rose to fame from the obscurity of failure and became one of the unchallenged fathers of the American Revolution, bequeathing to an infant republic a testament of American liberty. Patrick Henry. As our overture, Don Voorhees and the DuPont Cavalcade Orchestra play the currently popular Our Love, based on a melody from Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet.
We are happy to have with us tonight James Truslow Adams. Dr. Adams has been honored by many learned societies here and abroad, and some years ago he won the Pulitzer Prize with his founding of New England. Many of you know his Epic of America and the March of Democracy. During our present series, he's acted as historical advisor to the DuPont Cavalcade of America. I present James Truslow Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Chalmers. I'm glad to have this chance to say a few words to Cavalcade listeners, because a historian is a human being and not a crabbed old man who spends all his days over musty books. In our time, history has been humanized, and historians have devoted more thought to people, to individuals of all sorts who have made or are making history, and to current events that are also making history before our eyes. Last-minute news on the radio or finally reported in newspapers and magazines has in turn focused attention on the events of long ago. You millions of people who listen to Cavalcade are examples of the fact that history can be a fascinating hobby. I myself first took it up as a hobby before the last war when I was still in business. I found particular interest in tracing the beginnings of those characteristics which are considered typically American, and especially that dream of a better, richer, and happier life for all citizens of every rank, which is the greatest contribution our country has yet made to the thought and welfare of the world. It seems to me that the Cavalcade of America has thrown much light on many of these things, and that in presenting this program on the air, DuPont is rendering a real service. In these days, when the world is moving so fast along unknown roads, it is of vast importance that we recall the road America has traveled thus far, and those institutions and qualities which have made us what we are. That is what we, who are concerned with producing the Cavalcade of America, have tried to bring before you with dramatic interest, but also with the most careful historical accuracy.
Thank you, Dr. Adams. And now the Cavalcade of America presents tonight's story, Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry was born in Studley, Hanover County, Virginia, May 29, 1736, where his father was county surveyor and colonel of the colonial militia. Our story begins one Sunday in the little New Light Presbyterian Church, where dissenters from the established church and their sympathizers listened to one of the foremost ministers of the colony, the Reverend Samuel Davies.
Is there no other commandment but to obey and to suffer? It were never so ordered. God does not forbid the people to withstand outraging licentiousness in authority, even in kings. It is a breach of faith, yea, a wicked breach of faith, to betray the people's liberty. Let us sing, "A mighty fortress is our God." Almighty fortress is our God, bulwarks never
One of the most devout members of that congregation is Mistress John Henry, and after service, riding homeward in our two-wheeled gig, her 12-year-old son Patrick idly plays a newly mastered flute.
Not so near the church, please, Patrick. Particularly on the Sabbath.
I was trying to play the hymn, Mother. Wouldn't that
Not
be...
now, Patrick. Did you listen well to the pastor?
I always do, Mother.
Can you tell me his text?
Well, I think, Mother, it was, "Shall the throne of iniquity have
fellowship.
Or have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
Mm-hmm.
The Lord suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes."
Son of a staunch loyalist father, Patrick Henry was far from a challenger of kings on the day 12 years later, when all the American colonies were celebrating the succession of a new king to the throne of Great Britain, George III. It's the year 1760, and after a parade of colonial troops before the Hanover County Courthouse, the commanding Colonel, John Henry, marches across the clearing and pauses a moment to eye an untidily clad youth of 24, seated in the dirt beside the village tavern, surrounded by a group of his cronies.
Well, my son?
Good day to you, Father.
Patrick, I'm disappointed that even on the King's Day you can dress no more becomingly.
Failure is glad to have even a coat to his back, sir.
I'm sorry, my son. But with a wife and family, I think you might find something better to do than to sit here idly.
Behold, Father, a meeting of my debtors. And my creditors are not far distant either. Will you be the receiver, sir, of Patrick Henry Merchant? You will find more debts than credit, but more debtors than creditors.
You have a ready wit and a quick tongue. And for your failure as a trader, you can blame too many friends, Patrick. It's a pity you haven't turned wit, tongue, and friends from liabilities to assets.
Already married and a father, Patrick Henry at 24 had failed 3 times. Once as a small planter, twice as a storekeeper. But he'd acquired a taste for history, and in 1760 he was to try still another livelihood, which he explains to his young wife as he plans a journey to Williamsburg, the colonial capital of Virginia.
Goodbye, Sarah. Wish me luck.
Oh, Patrick, you know I do, but I wish... Oh.
You don't think I'll be successful?
Well, you've only been studying a little over a month. That's hardly long enough to master the law.
Oh, I don't claim to have mastered it, but I think I can pass my bar examinations at least.
I hope so, Patrick.
I don't blame you for your lack of confidence. But don't worry, darling. I'll keep studying and learn as I go on. Well, dear, I have to go now. Goodbye, Sarah.
May I give you some advice, Patrick?
Of course. What is it, dear?
Well, please don't argue, Patrick. You know how you like to argue. It might get you into trouble someday.
The next day in a law office in Williamsburg, Patrick Henry faces John Randolph, one of Virginia's legal lights. The appearances of the two men bring out the contrast between Tidewater aristocrats and Piedmont commoners. In silk knee breeches, gay waistcoat and lace, garters, and buckled shoes, Lawyer Randolph studies the ungainly youth before him, clad in homespun, his unpowdered hair tied in a bag.
We'll try again, Mr. Henry. Let us take the laws of England. Into what two kinds may the municipal law be divided?
I'm afraid, sir, my studies do not encompass that difference.
Young man, I begin to wonder, have you studied at all? And if so, for how long?
Well, sir, I read law 4 weeks.
4 weeks. And that, I suppose, constitutes sufficient preparation for admission to the bar?
Well, I've read Coke on Littleton, sir, and...
But you know nothing of municipal law? What else have you studied?
I know the Virginia statutes. I guess that's all, sir.
You mean to say you know nothing about the law of nature?
The law of nature? No, sir. But by law of nature, I think I understand the law of reason. That is, right reason. Natural equity and justice. Supreme over all law.
Even acts of parliament.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Mr. Henry, for a young man, you have read law only 4 weeks. You show a strange viewpoint. Must be native genius. I'll sign your license to practice.
Well, thank you, sir.
With reluctance. And there's one condition. You've got to go back home, Mr. Henry, and study, study, study.
Patrick Henry forgot neither the injunction to study nor his conviction that the law of reason must be a paramount factor in the world of his time. Within 3 years, he built up a respectable law practice in Hanover County, becoming the legal champion of the common people of Virginia. Then in 1765, elected to Virginia's House of Burgesses, Patrick Henry faced the silks and laces of the colonial aristocrats and emerged as leader of the backwoodsmen. One night as the spring term draws to a close, he paces restlessly about the parlor of his lodgings in Williamsburg.
Patrick, I think you'd better tell me what's the matter.
One night as the spring
Oh, what's the good of talking about it?
Sometimes it helps, Patrick.
Sarah, do you know how it feels to be the newest member of the House of Burgesses and sit there day after day listening to the spineless drivel of men who are supposed to be protecting the interests of our people, letting King George and his parliament do whatever they like to us?
I've heard you say those men are the most prominent in the colony.
Prominent, yes. And but the blind. Of course, they oppose the Stamp Act when they're whispering in taverns about it, but not one has dared protest openly.
Well, why should they? Everybody knows the Stamp Act is a law.
It's a law, all right.
A British-made law. A law that takes away the rights we're granted in our colonial charters. A stamp on every document. King George will be stamping the very bread we eat next. It's an undemocratic principle, taxation without representation. And if we don't speak out now and resist it, we're going to be little better than slaves.
Oh, Patrick.
I'm sorry, dear. I shouldn't bother you with all this.
Well, don't worry about bothering me, Patrick. If I know you at all, the person you're going to bother is King George.
Next day in the House of Burgesses, in black suit and tie wig, up rose Patrick Henry. It was May 29th, 1765, 2 days before adjournment. Some of the members lounged in their seats, bored with the proceedings. Others stood in the doorway, idly speculating about the new speaker.
For weeks in this assembly, gentlemen, I, as your newest member, have sat quietly.
An unfamiliar face. Who is it?
Young Patrick Henry. Just a rustic, Nicky.
I do not agree with the distinguished speaker.
He's been more at ease tending the village store, in my opinion.
The Stamp Act has been passed by the British Parliament.
About the Stamp Act.
What good will talk do?
Listen.
Imposed without their consent. We who have come here from England are free men, entitled to all the rights and privileges of our cousins across the sea. We are free today, I repeat, but the time will come when we shall no longer be free to call our homes, our lands, our crops, even our wives and children our own, unless we protest this unjust and outrageous tax.
Sir, the Stamp Act has been passed. It's the law of the colony.
But, sir, free men may not be taxed unless by their own consent. I submit, sir, that any act of Parliament against common rights is or ought to be null and void.
We're not concerned with rights here. The Stamp Act is a matter of expediency. Wait till we see what the other colonies are going to do.
Wait! There's no time for waiting. I repeat, sir, the Stamp Act is unjust, and against injustice we cannot wait or remain silent. Caesar had his Brutus, Charles I his Cromwell, and George III. Treason! And George III. Treason! They profit by his family. If this be treason, make the most of it.
Patrick Henry's patriotism and oratory resulted in the passage of his Virginia Resolution, the first written assertion of American independence. Before the House of Burgesses was dissolved, these resolutions were passed by a single vote. Then, as the Continental Congress was formed, Patrick Henry was elected one of Virginia's 6 delegates. He contributed to its memorials to King George III, its Declaration of the Rights of Freemen, an American expression against British tyranny. Then, late in 1774, he returned to Virginia to visit his mother in Hanover County.
Well, Patrick, everybody's saying you're the finest orator in the colonies. I'm so proud of you, my son.
Well, Mother, I'm not much of an orator. I think the finest orator I ever heard was our old minister. Remember him?
Parson Samuel Davies. Yes, I remember. And do you remember how I would question you on his texts and his sermons?
Yes.
I have questions now, Patrick.
Well, Mother, this is Sunday. What question?
Tell me, Patrick, will Great Britain drive us to rebellion?
I'm sure of it, Mother. And soon.
But we have no discipline, Patrick. No army, no ammunition, no ships, no money. How can we oppose England?
England has enemies, Mother. France, Spain, Holland. They will be our friends. And someday, we will be independent.
But, Patrick, what will you do now?
I'm convinced that, after all, we must fight. And if we must fight, I must organize a militia. And these must be organized into a colonial army.
What did Parson Davies say to all this war and rebellion?
One time he said something, Mother, I've never forgotten. God does not forbid the people to withstand outraging licentiousness in authority, even in kings. It is a breach of faith, yea, a wicked breach of faith, to betray the people's liberty.
The next year was 1775. Up and down the 13 colonies, militiamen are in training.
following the example of Patrick Henry's own little volunteer band of young men, organized to resist the red-coated forces of Great Britain. Colonial legislatures are dissolved. A great, united colonial army is needed. And on the 23rd of March, the members of Virginia's Insurgent Convention meet in St. John's Church, Richmond. It's a moment of tense excitement when Patrick Henry rises to his feet and rests his hand on the high door of the pew.
Sir, we have done everything that could be done to avert the storm which is now coming on. We have petitioned. We have remonstrated. We have prostrated ourselves before the throne. If we wish to be free, if we wish to...
No longer are the delegates to a Virginia convention listening to a green, unknown backwoodsman.
We must fight.
Their eyes are riveted on his face. Their ears ring with his eloquence. The silence is breathless as Patrick Henry concludes his oration.
From the north will bring to our ears a clash of resounding arms. His life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take. But as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
Patrick Henry's voice was the voice of America. And when he dared speak in 1775, his words, as much as the musket fire at Concord 4 weeks later, were heard eventually around the world. Then on July 5th, 1776, he was elected almost unanimously the first governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. After the Revolutionary War was over and our independence was won, Patrick Henry's task remained unfulfilled. For in the difficult period of establishing our young new nation, one of the most serious problems concerned the treatment of the Tories. In the year 1783, Assembly, Patrick's friend, Judge Tyler, is expressing the opinion of the majority of patriotic Americans at that time.
And so, gentlemen, I am opposed to our showing leniency to any sympathizer of King George. I propose that these Tories be outlawed, that their property be confiscated, that they be treated as they propose to treat us if Great Britain had been victorious. We all want to hear from the man who was marked by the British King as the first rebel to be hanged when the war was over. It is his right to put the motion that shall meet just punishment to all Tories. Patrick Henry.
Gentlemen, I shall never put such a motion. On the contrary, I urge forgiveness for all those deluded men who remained loyal to the king.
They might stir up trouble for us.
Are you suggesting, sir, that we are afraid of them? Do you mean that we, who have laid the proud British lion at our feet, should now be afraid of his wealth? Gentlemen of Virginia, I ask you who have listened to me before to hear me to the end. Can we hope to build a new nation on the embers of revenge? I ask you all to remember, we are not building America for today. We are building a nation for tomorrow. A nation of goodwill, of harmony, and of peace.
With this opinion, Patrick Henry stands revealed as a constructive thinker, supporting the fundamental concepts on which our government is founded, freedom and tolerance. But the climax of his lifelong fight for the rights of freemen came when he was 55 years old. For 3 years, he'd waged an inspired struggle against the newly adopted federal constitution, insisting that a Bill of Rights be added for the protection of the people and the states. His work was successful in 1791, with the ratification of the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, America's Bill of Rights. As a public servant in the true sense of the word, as a man who served not only his country but his fellow men, Patrick Henry deserves a high place of honor in the Cavalcade of America. And now here's Basil Rysdale speaking for the DuPont Company and bringing us another story from the wonder world of chemistry.
The other day, while I sat watching a friend of mine sort out his fishing gear, the conversation turned to these cavalcade programs. My friend said, those stories of chemistry are okay, but why don't you get your chemist to perform some wonders for us sportsmen? We deserve better things for better living, too. Well, he should have known at least part of my answer, because more than one chemical product is being used to snare the wily trout and other game fish. In fact, one of the sensations of the recent sportsman's show in New York City was a new type of fishing leader made from nylon, the amazing material recently developed by DuPont chemists. Nylon is made from such simple materials as coal, water, and air. As a fishing leader, it combines fineness, elasticity, and transparency with extraordinary strength, has little sheen, does not fray or get brittle, and never has to be soaked before using. In another form, nylon is turned into thread, and then in a very superior fishing line by manufacturers of fishing tackle. However, the fish story doesn't end at this point, because chemically made plastics are being used by many manufacturers to make fishing reels, bobbers, transparent boxes for flies, and various artificial lures. Most of us are aware of a new sport that's sweeping the country. It's called skeet, and it's a sport that everyone enjoys. Skeet consists of shooting at speeding prey targets with a shotgun from a series of 8 different positions. Here, too, chemistry helps the sportsman. For Remington skeet shells are carefully made under strict laboratory control to make for better scores. And this year, trap and skeet shooters expect to get even higher scores than ever before by using a new type of shotgun shell, perfected after years of research in Remington laboratories. The feature of this shell is a new Remington crimp, which eliminates the top wad and gives even distribution of shot pellets in the pattern. Now the sportsman has a better chance of breaking every target. And to continue this outdoor story, DuPont chemists now provide a new textile finish, trademark Zealand, which keeps sportswear dry and fresh appearing because fabrics treated with it are water repellent, spot and stain resistant. The outstanding feature of Zealand is its unique ability to stand many launderings or dry cleanings without losing its repellency. And these few examples don't begin to tell the whole story of chemistry's part in sport. Yes, the chemist must have a soft spot in his heart for all who love the great outdoors, bringing them many better things for better living through chemistry.
Next week is a tribute to the centenary of our national game, celebrated by Americans this spring. The Cavalcade of America will present the story of baseball. The part of Patrick Henry on tonight's program was played by William Johnstone. Till next week, then, at the same time, this is Thomas Chalmers saying good night and best wishes from DuPont.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.